atiende vivo desde Cabo San Lucas, aquí en la Punta de Baja. Estamos aquí con la primera edición de la Espira de las Razas, fueled by Random. Por supuesto, soy tu anfitrión, Yaku of the Zaku, y conmigo hoy está the lad who drives the crab, Light Subraya VIP. ¿Cómo lo hacemos, Light?
¿Cómo lo hacemos? What's up, Yaku? Aquí, bienvenidos todos. We are here. We are live with our first Latin American broadcast of 2021. It is Rey de las Razas, and I am, of course, Light VIP. Thank you for the intro, Yaku. And this is our first time casting this year in 2021.
What?
What?
No.
yeah, unfortunately.
Yet?
Unfortunately, it didn't quite happen yesterday, but here we are today. This is an event that has been postponed quite a number of times, just like Ducklings Showdown, unfortunately, due to server issues on the NA server, but it has all been resolved. We are here, and mate, I don't know what to expect.
I do.
Oh boy.
Here on Pillars of Gold, LE, we are starting off at the top right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way at the top right-hand corner, the blue Terran player coming down from Mexico, representing Alpha X, we have Pacomike.
And spawning in... Yeah, the bottom left, ooh, spawning with his main race, even though he did pick random, we have the pink Terran player representing Matt, oh god, I forgot the name, representing Kraken Madness, as well as the land of Peru. It is Shellbee.
El Loco Octopus.
Oh god.
That's what it is.
Yeah, pretty much. So this is a pretty special event. This is again, La Espira. I love what they're doing. They keep trying to come up with new and different ways to, you know, make an event, not necessarily stock standard. That's why we've had like all these 2v2 events or FFAs. And now we're here with Rey de las Razas.
That we are, and it's not just a random event. No. This is La Espira really trying to go out and say, you know what? There are 3 races in this game. You need to win 3 maps. Make sure you win them with different races.
Yep. Oh boy. So as Yaku just said, every single player has to win in a best of 5 at least one game with every single race. So at the moment you see both of them have Terran. After this they're going to be picking their races, and it's going to be interesting, especially because Pacomike, he just scouted Shellbee and he's like, what the hell is his main race? Like what's going on?
Hashtag rigged. And Shellbee, he's gonna be heaving a little sigh right now of relief.
Oh boy.
No,
yeah.
I'm not sure how much preparation these players had for, you know, each race, but I'm gonna be assuming that, you know, they did have enough time to, you know, look at some build orders, practice them and whatnot. So yeah, in a mirror matchup like this, where Shellbee, one of the players does in fact have their main race and the other one's off racing, I feel like the big difference is going to come in the little part of things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And I also like how Shellbee, he's even trash talking a little bit. He's like, I would have rather faced your main race, your Protoss. That would have been easy. It's like, whoa, big words.
Always appreciate the translations coming down.
Oh boy.
From Maddox.
Yep, from Maddox.
That's what's going on right now.
I mean, we also have Darking in the lobby as well, in case, you know, something does go over our heads. But, you know, I mean, anyone who listens to Yaku's introductions knows that he's very fluent in Spanish.
Exactly. And you know who else is fluent? Pacomike is pretty fluent in Reaper harass. Get a delay. He got a delay.
Yeah, he gets in, like he's getting an SCV. He could get a second SCV. He could go toe to toe with one of these Marines, not with 3, so he has to be careful.
Oh. Yeah, he's really trying to isolate that mule. He doesn't want Shellbee to get that bonus, but will be chased away, unfortunately. Pacomike is attention a little bit elsewhere.
Yeah, basically on both ends, they've got Reapers in each other's bases. Shellbee did come out a little bit ahead as he did kill 2 SUVs, but at the same time, the Reaper of Pacomike is still in the mineral line.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit of lost mining time. That mule is still alive.
I know, oh my god, it's so low. So close.
Very close, but the Reapers do get denied on both sides, and now we're ramping up to what's looking to be the first sign of harass or aggression coming out from Pacomike, actually.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. I mean, I also want to touch on how you were talking about how much practice have these guys had. Well, they've had over a month of practice because this event has been delayed. Like, again, like that did give them the opportunity to practice even more with their off races. Whether they have taken that time to practice, that's up in the air, right? We just don't know. Going into this series, like Shellbee was even saying like, oh god, I'm not ready for this. Like he was a little bit yeah, a little bit worried, but
that's why he got Terran.
Exactly.
Looking down at him and said, all right, I'll give you a chance. And we're kind of at that phase of TBT where both players are still, you know, waiting on their upgrades, trying to get their armies up and running. But Pacomike trying to do some harass. I like this move.
Ooh.
Essentially using these cyclones like blink stalkers.
Pretty much, right? Like
the army.
Yeah, like they're picking off at the army. They're like waiting to see like if a drop does come out and it does get intercepted by a cyclone, then I mean that's Shellbee's gonna be in trouble there. So yeah, I love how Pacomike is utilizing these units. Nice
little bit of patrol, gets some pretty good vision of what would be the most likely path that Shellbee decides to move down in.
Yeah, and as you were saying, when it comes to the tech, so far both players are playing relatively similarly. You know, no one is going into mech or anything crazy like that. What's interesting is that Pacomike did go for a more economic route, as his third CC was quite a lot faster than Shellbee's.
Oh yeah, indeed. It's about to get landed down, start mining. It's already in orbital command. And yeah, Pacomike already working on his upgrades, getting both of his 1-1s as well as them. I'm really liking his position.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like he's had map control with his cyclones. Like he has a much faster third CC, so he has faster mules as he does throw down 2. He has triple SCV production. Meanwhile, Shellbee still has to morph his own command center into an orbital. But at the same time, it does mean that Shellbee, his army is looking a little bit stronger. You know, his tank count is a lot higher.
Absolutely, and we were talking about, you know, little things that Pacomike might not be really well versed in, and one of them I would have to say is tank positioning. I mean, looking at it right now, one of his tanks is a little bit too far behind.
Yeah, exactly. He's only got 2 here. He does split the main army, which is great, but again, like there's a lot of tanks here for Shellbee, and that's, you know, the trade-off. Pacomike, he got those cyclones at the cost of tanks.
Imagine taking this stimulus, beautiful disables being thrown down right now, and an auto turret just to add insult to injury. And this is way too much right now for Pacomike. Targeted down that siege up tank. And now, I mean, he probably shouldn't siege up, but he kind of can if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Unsiege, unstim, GG is called, and Shellbee proven why he is the main Terran player.
Exactly, GG. Like he still had all of his upgrades still on the way, and yeah, like he didn't even need them. He just starter stepped his way in, didn't even need to siege up his tanks. He was perfectly fine.
Just goes to show you.
Yeah, it goes to show you the power of the main race, right? Like, again, like Shellbee, he was favored with Terran, but likewise, there's going to be a situation where Pacomike, he's going to have the opportunity to whip out his Protoss, and we'll see how things go there as well. I'm most interested to see like how they're going to look when they face each other as both off races, right? Like that's kind of going to be the most interesting thing.
Oh, I thought the most interesting thing was if they face each other in PvP.
That'd be amazing. That'd be a meme.
Hey, you know what? The PvZ coming down.
Yeah.
I'm speculating.
Yeah, that could be good as well. I'm also actually worried about the PvP if that does happen. Like, again, Shellbee, if he knows anything about Pacomike is he struggles a lot in PvP. More so than he should, really. So if Shellbee comes out like really aggressive, it's
Now, when you say more than he should, is that just because Pacomike is the inventor of I'm not sure what you would really call it, the Stargate style, the Latin American Stargate style?
I mean, like, Pacomike, the thing is that he's so good at PvZ. Like, he's amazing at that matchup, right? He can go toe-to-toe with Cham. But in PvP...
And LatAm is full of Zerg players.
It's full of top-tier Zergs. That's why he's been, like, forged in that matchup, like, looking so strong. But when it comes to PvP, like, he can fall to like even the simplest of cannon rushes. Like it's like, oh god, it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. We've actually seen oh my god, I believe he lost to like a Masters Protoss as well, like in one of the Battle of the Americas. Like it can happen sometimes. Yeah, I mean PvP, like it's, we always talk about
Masters Protoss player's name, Starduck.
Starduck. Oh god. I believe it wasn't eLegacy. It was oh god, it was Everness. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we know him. He plays in MSO. Like
yeah, Evanescence.
Yeah. Oh god.
I know that guy.
Yeah, he plays in our amateur events. But now
been trying to get Steel to do an intro for him, but he has always refused.
Oh, to do like a full like Evanescence intro?
Yeah.
Okay.
One day.
One day we'll get him to do it. Oh god. Okay, so it looks like we have a bit of a different matchup here.
We do. It's not completely different. It's not gonna be a complete change, as Pacomike seems to be sticking with Terran, funnily enough.
Interesting. We did get confirmation that Shellbee, now that he has one with Terran, that does mean that he can only pick Zerg or Protoss from now on. So we're gonna get a glimpse to see what his off race is looking like,
especially up against his main race.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he chose Protoss now, though. When Pacomike stuck with Terran. I mean, technically Pacomike could still pick random.
He could, yeah. if he wanted to, but...
Yeah, but I guess he just wants to prove a point.
I was about to say the same thing. Maybe he wants to prove something here to Shellbee.
Yeah, Terran was looking pretty good last game until the final engagement, so...
That's the thing,
maybe
right?
Maybe he does have something up his sleeve.
Yeah. Like Pacomike, he didn't look bad with his Terran. It's just that he wasn't necessarily ready for that big push. Like other than that, he was looking solid.
Indeed, he was. And speaking of solid, we are now here on Oxide LE. It is actually a gas. eGGz. That's what. I've forgotten what oxygen was. Here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, the red Terran player. He is coming down from Mexico. He is sticking with this off race. He is looking to prove a point. Representing Alpha X, we have Pacomike.
And
hashtag not named Mike.
Or Pocket. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Peruvian, now Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Team Kraken Madness, or Madness Kraken. It is Shellbee.
Or potentially Iron Squid.
It does look like a squid, right?
Yeah.
Like the...
It does, I think. Wait, a Kraken's more octopuses or squids? I guess it could be either or.
I don't think a Kraken exists.
What? No, you're false. And here we go. Shellbee He's already won.
Shellbee, yo, he knows how to play Protoss. Okay, this is the correct way to play. He didn't even cancel. He let it finish.
What a madman. And this is actually pretty beneficial for Shellbee, funnily enough, in something like a PvT. It does delay quite a bit the the gas count coming up. It's going to be a little bit longer for Pacomike to be able to get his his factory up and running, get his high tech, well, not really high tech, but you know what I mean, his tier 2 units, shall we say, out, like his Ravens or what have you.
Oh yeah, definitely. It is going to be delayed. Unfortunately, Shellbee is getting some mucho lag at the moment.
And that's why you had the gas steal.
Oh boy. So hopefully things can clear up there. And of course, when it comes to the other end of the bracket, like this is going to be a fairly short event. There are only 4 invited players. These are 2 of them, and we have 2 others waiting, I guess, in the lower semis. The correct term?
Yeah. They are semis because they are the round of 4 that goes before the finals. But at the same time, can you call it semis if there are 2? That's why I'm going to that one. No, I mean, we don't have a full bracket, is the thing.
Yeah. Also,
all right, Darren Kappa.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but Shellbee was saying like, "Oh, I've got a lot of ping," and Ducklings like, "Well, good thing you're playing Protoss." It's like, you got a point.
Yeah. There's like actually a lot of debate on it. Well, I guess it also comes down to like style, right? We've seen it a lot. We've talked about it before. Like the Chinese Protoss players, a lot of them don't really like using spellcasters because for the longest time there wasn't a dedicated Chinese server, so they had to play on. They had to find some workarounds and play with a lot of ping. Whereas a lot of the other like NA or Korean Protoss players, they love their spellcasters, their sentries, their Templar and whatnot. So we'll see if Shellbee goes that direction or if he is just going to stick with something a little bit more, a little bit less micro-intensive, but still pretty solid. Like, let me subliminally message to him, Charge at Archon, or, Mass Oracle.
It's one of those things where, like, if you're Shellbee in this situation and you're up against Pacomike in, like, a reverse race scenario, like, your main race is Terran. You know what to abuse if you're Protoss, right? Like, you know what feels bad. So, like, I feel like that's kind of what you want to go for, right?
Exactly. He wants to be building like 50 shield batteries. That is natural.
Oh god, just turtle up on 2 bases and just go straight into carriers or something disgusting like that. Like,
that's what you need. Pacomike probably did watch a thermal guide that he recently posted. I actually haven't either.
Oh god, was it a guide about Skytoss?
Yeah, it was straight up how to beat Skytoss, and I'm like, this is what's kicking my ass every time if TVP gets to the late game. I need to watch that, and then I haven't.
Oh god.
Interesting. All right, so Pacomike, he's going for a single drop, but he's sending the Hellions out as well. There we go. That's what I was wondering about.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of multi-prong coming down. It feels like this is a build that hasn't really been utilized in a while, but we'll see how effective it can really be. That's a lot of probes going down. Ooh. Shellbee fighting the Hellions.
Oh god.
He overestimated. We were talking about thinking that you know what to abuse as a Protoss player. Yeah, sometimes you can also miscalculate. Probes, sometimes they feel like they never die, but you don't want to be fighting Hellions with them.
Yeah, but and the thing is, it also goes the other way, right? Like, Pacomike going for this multi-prong, he killed 10 workers with just the Hellions. He was able to depower a couple of gateways. They were just barely repowered.
Now more probes are looking to go down. These Marines are focusing on them. They're not looking to fight with these Stalkers, which is absolutely what he wants. Look at the 17 dead workers.
Jesus.
That's massive at this stage of the game.
Yeah.
And you know what? I gotta tell you, Shellbee, you can't rely on mules in as a Protoss player.
No, you cannot. Chrono Boost is okay, I guess, but it's nowhere near as potent as mules when it comes to your economy. And now, like, Pacomike is not even done. We have a Liberator coming in as well. It's going to be denying all this mining here at the natural.
I can feel all of the salt that Pacomike has had playing PvT. Feeling like, what? This is so abusable. Oh my god.
Speaking of abusable, mate, we got a couple of DTs coming in. Yo, Pacomike's ready. He's already got a missile turret.
Yo. This Pacomike, he knows the ins and outs of his race. He knows exactly how to counter it when he's getting abused.
Yeah, like I was gonna say that for the most part, Shellbee, he had the tools at his disposal to hold. Like, I was really impressed when he had like stalkers patrolling in his main, he had stalkers patrolling in his natural, right? Like he had the units to defend, but he just didn't have them. Like he didn't utilize them quite well enough. Yeah, like he was attacking with his probes, right? Like things of that nature.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that a lot of people end up learning when. After they've been harassed a couple of times, and I guess it goes to show that Shellbee just isn't used to the shoe being on the other foot.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, he's
so many missile turrets.
Oh my god, they're all over the place. Like there are scans available as well if required. Oh, he did kill the missile turret though.
Yeah, and but he's letting the DTs get too close to the other one. Shellbee did not see that other missile turret at all, but all things considered, started to equalize on the worker count. 8 dead SCVs, or at least that's what's shown. We don't really know what the friendly fire from the tanks were like. And was it worth it? 8 SCVs for 4 DTs? Maybe, maybe not, but it gives Shellbee a fighting chance. Yeah,
I think what's important is that, like, thankfully, the 3rd CC isn't done for Pacomike, so, like, he isn't going to be able to really ramp up and take advantage of the lead that he had earlier when he killed 17 probes. So Shellbee has been able to slowly catch up in terms of the economy. I'm just worried because, like, when it comes to the main army, that's still where Pacomike is still looking quite terrifying.
Very terrifying right now. I would say the only thing he's missing is a Raven, but just looking at the compositions, or the unit composition of Shellbee right now, rather. I'm so used to them playing their other races, I'm starting to call them the wrong thing. But yeah, looking at Shellbee's unit composition, doesn't really need one.
Yeah.
Disabled.
Exactly, like there's no robo units at all whatsoever, so it's not that useful. It would be great just to have mobile detection, I guess, like with your main army, because you know there are DTs all over the place. But yeah,
at the same time, NOP.
True.
All right, Shellbee, or Pacomike rather. Pacomike does confirm the 3rd base is getting set up right now for Shellbee. They'll be looking to deny that very, very soon. Even denies the gas here.
Yeah, a lot of loss. Again, lost mining time when it comes to the gases. Like, all 6 gases are taken, but for the longest time, only 2 gases were being mined from. Shellbee, though, he is slowly, like, situating himself here. But what is terrifying is that, like, we just mentioned it. Where are the robo units? Like, where's, like, the beef? Or, like, where's his army? Like, he doesn't really have anything. He's just got a bunch of DTs.
Yeah, I feel like best case scenario, he more CCTs into Archons, but he doesn't really have a buffer for those Archons either. I do like what he's trying to do with them, though. He is sort of, patrolling the map, trying to pick off units as they move out.
Yeah, he's doing what he can, and what's important is that this is going to be keeping Pacomike at home. It's going to be making sure he doesn't move out across the map with his main terrifying army. God.
Oh, wow. Blink could not even save that DT, and so many SCVs are going down. I was going to say, we'll see what the crisis management for Pacomike is going to look like. Because again, if he's not too well practiced with Terran, then you have things like this happening, all armying all the way back home. Hyper focusing on defending and then not quite moving out. But Pacomike, he's feeling pretty confident. He's built up a very powerful army. Hey, look at how many tanks he's got.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's terrifying.
Yeah, he's gonna pay back Shellbee for game number 1.
Like Shellbee, he just lost what, 8 DTs? There are 4 more here. Oh my, he's actually dealing a lot of damage.
Does he have scan? Does he have scan?
Oh my god, there's no scan.
There is no scan available right now for Pacomike. Now there is. But DTs do blink away, and this is the one thing I feel like Shellbee can really utilize to keep himself in the game. Try to make sure that this army doesn't get too much damage done. Not sure where the detection on that was earlier. But here comes another scan coming down. Oh, there was actually... Wait, was there? Wait. No, there's no Raven. I'm not sure what I'm seeing. I thought I saw a disable.
Yeah, I thought I saw one as well. Meanwhile, the third base is going to be going down again. Like Shellbee doesn't have an army. He's got DTs. That's like, as long as Pacomike has scans, he's going to be perfectly fine, and he's still got plenty of energy.
Yeah, it's scans. Yeah. And with that, this is looking like Pacomike really looking to return the favor.
Yeah, and surprisingly, like Pacomike, he's not winning with Protoss. He's going to be like showing off here with Terran.
Yeah, I mean, you know, hashtag lag, am I right?
Oh my god, hashtag man with gun is all you need as he just stutter steps his way into the main base. Shellbee, he was trying to do what he could with DTs. But... oh god.
Everything is depowered. GG's called. Pacomike is tying up the series sideways 1-1. Time for PvP.
Oh god. Yes, as now both players have won with Terran, which means there will be no more Terrans in this series. It's only going to be Protoss and Zerg.
ZVZ. PVZ.
Oh my god, can you imagine a ZVZ between these two? What a clown fiesta.
I imagine they both drone rush.
They could. They I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them like 13-12 or something along those lines. Like,
And then the other one went 3 hatchery 4 pool.
God.
But somehow able to hold that with just a queen.
Oh boy, as yeah, we are tied up. Pretty interesting that Pacomike was able to take a game with an off race because he still has his main race up his sleeve, you know, and we have to imagine that that's like a surefire win right there, you know. So things are getting a little bit scary for Shellbee.
It could be a surefire win, or he could get a PvP. And Shellbee, he might have been consulting the Book of Cannon rushes. I've been watching Loco.
He's been watching Turkey Dano. You know, he's been conspiring with him.
Yeah.
Oh boy, as
across the border.
Across the border. Been conspiring with the Brazilians. It's possible. It's all possible.
He learned Portuguese just for this.
He learned the Portuguese word for cannon,
which is no, that's not what I wanted.
Cannon.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I don't know.
Canyo.
There you go. Ooh.
Can how?
I think that's the right way to say it. I don't know.
Yeah. I could say how can.
Okay, so
this be allowed?
We have gotten confirmation. Shellbee, he has decided to pick Protoss. He does not like his chances with Zerg, so he's gonna be playing Protoss. Is it? Hey, are we gonna see a PVZ?
It's gonna be a PVZ, and you know what, Pacomike, he's not really used to being on the other foot, is he? He's demolished many Zerg players, but all he's seeing is that all he's really seeing there is, you know, what to abuse as Protoss against Zerg. Not really the other way around.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, has he been able to learn, you know, like, by playing countless games against people like Cham and Jim Rising and eGGz, Ryu, the Zerg Lord? Has Pacomike been able to gain anything from that? We'll see, or we'll see if he just like 13-12s.
He's gonna do it Jim style. He's gonna go Mass Buda.
I would love to see that.
In a PB, yeah, actually in a CB, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But we will have to wait and see and speculate what they're gonna go for here on Lightshade LE. As we spawn in here in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner the blue Protoss player. He did not get to show off how good he is in this race last time. Let's see if he can do it now. Representing Madness, Kraken Madness, El Loco de la Calamari, we have Shellbee.
Yeah, from Peru and spawning in the top left-hand corner. Mate, there's no 12 pool. We have the Mexican, normally Protoss, but here Zerg player representing Team Alpha X. It is Pacomike.
Okay. This is Shellbee.
Yeah.
But does come into double check with his scout, sees that it is not in fact a 12 pool, nor even a... Okay, it is a pool first, but that's mostly just because of the pylon block.
Yeah. He did go for a gas pool opening. His gas is a little bit late. Pacomike was a little bit slow there, but you know, they were thrown down first before his hatchery.
There we go. So all bien, Shellbee.
Yeah, what does Shellbee have in store for us? Because there's a lot you can do as Protoss here. Like, you can just embrace the memes, and mate, are we gonna see like some Void Ray play, some like Stargate play? Like, oh my god, oh god.
Interesting positioning over here coming out from Shellbee.
Interesting is probably the best word there. He delays his own cyber core by a little bit. It's not the most efficient, but you know, oh wait, what? Okay.
Yeah, it's just another gateway coming down.
Yeah.
So we'll have just enough that he needs to wall off.
Mm-hmm.
Or vale bien, if you will.
That's not Spanish, but okay.
Paella.
Paella.
That's Portuguese way.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So yeah, things so far nothing too crazy for the most part. Pretty economic openings because Pacomike went for a faster gas. Like, he is getting faster link speed. Is it just to be safe? Maybe. Is he planning to utilize that and go for like a big like 2-base like flood? It's possible. Just have to wait and see.
Pacomike strikes me as a reactive Zerg player, just based on his Protoss play.
I think something that's interesting is that Pacomike should have had a third by now. He does not have a third hatchery, which is scary.
But he's still kind of droning up, funnily enough.
Yeah, like, if he gets a third now, it's like, why is it so late? I have to imagine he's planning to be a little bit more aggressive and go for some kind of 2-base timing. But he's not getting any gas.
Yeah, and he's, again, continuing to just drone off. Is he going off of Protoss timings for third bases?
I guess so, because he's going for it. It's just very late. Just incredibly late. Okay.
Huh. Or maybe he thinks that, alright, it's PvP rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
Player who expands first, the player who gets the third first is gonna lose, and then he remembered, oh wait, I'm playing Zerg.
The player who expands first dies first, typically, in a PvP. So yeah, his third is a little bit late, and that's gonna hurt his production. It's gonna hurt his economy. It's gonna hurt Pacomike quite a bit. But he has a decent amount of links, so we'll see what he can do, and we'll see if Shellbee even decides to expand.
Yeah, it's very possible right now. There comes the Robo Bay from Shellbee already coming out. What are we feeling like? Drop or just straight up 2-base push?
If it's a drop, mate, is he memey enough to go for a Colossus drop instead of a Disruptor drop?
He would be.
I think so too. Yeah, this is interesting because, again, like, what both these players are doing are unorthodox. Like, the third base is incredibly late for Pacomike. When it comes to Shellbee, like, going like minimal amount of gateways straight into Robotics Bay, like, you don't see this in regular meta. So we couldn't just end up catching Pacomike off guard. Like, this is just something you don't typically see.
Double Robo?
Oh my god.
2 bases. Okay, there's a 3rd base coming up.
It's
And that's a
Colossus.
very quick infestation pit.
Oh my god. Is Pacomike gonna
Can
pull
you-
is he gonna pull a Cham?
It's possible. This isn't quite the harpooning map with Vipers, but it's very possible. We'll see how well he's been able to micro. Again, Pacomike is the player with a little bit of a ping advantage, if you will. It's a little bit closer to that US East server.
So, like, what Cham would do in this situation is he'd go infestation pit and he'd just go swarm host. He'd just go straight into swarm host against Protoss, and it could work. And that has to be it, because, like, there's no Hydra Den, so this can't be for, like, Vipers, for, like, Hydra Lurker Viper or anything like that. Like,
I'm pulling off hope for the Ultra Cavern. That's what I'm pulling off hope for.
Yeah, like, I just, we'll see, because to me anyway, Swarm Host is the only logical conclusion, but, like, again, this isn't Pacomike's main race. Maybe he's just throwing it down just for tech, because he's not making anything.
Just staring at a production tab. There the Swarm Hosts come. If you can hit the timing where before Shellbee's able to get enough Colossus out, these are going to be real deadly. I mean, even with the Colossus out, if he's able to, keep them in the air for long enough and then pounce on top of the Colossus.
Oh, yeah.
Those aren't going to be long for this world. And
Yeah, definitely. And what's scary is that, this isn't just, Swarm Host. The Renitus is to accompany this as well. And Shellbee, looking at his vision, like, he has been able to scout the Nidus network, but did he click on it? Is he aware of it? Like, he's pushing out, and I'm just worried about how his army is going to really fare against the Swarm Hosts.
he's pushing out while a Overseer is floating around his base.
Yeah, it's terrifying. But we'll see what he's going to be able to do. I mean, regardless, he's going to force the Locust to be used defensively.
Yeah, that's definitely something, especially with these advanced thermal lances. Pacomike is looking to just kite these Locusts for as long as he can. And so he does.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got to move the army, though. You got to move the army, Shellbee!
Okay, he keeps it alive. And he kind of baited this out. Like, Pacomike was very premature with this, and now he has all this supply that's dead right now. Like, he can't use this to defend whatsoever, and now his base is under threat.
Yeah, the classic beginner swarm host kind of thing. You accidentally use all of them instead of half of them defensively. And yeah, this fourth is not going to be long for this world. A couple of roaches coming in to support, though, and this is not a particularly scary army for Shellbee, but Pacomike just doesn't have much of anything apart from swarm hosts.
Yeah, but you know what? They did recharge their Locust Wave. This time he didn't use all of them. Nicely done.
There we go.
Oh, he's learning. His brain is slowly expanding.
Like an AI.
Oh boy. Okay, so now because of that, like, he will have an extra wave to use defensively. But Shellbee is fully aware. He has like full eyes on this entire army.
Yeah, so he's not actually looking to try to punish that fourth base location anymore. Just meeting up with the rest of his army. These Locusts.
No!
He's not looking.
Oh,
Blink
God.
is on the way. I thought that finished up.
Luckily for Pacomike, it's not done.
Yeah. And also, when you have 5 Colossus, Jesus, that seems a little excessive. When you have 5 Colossus, you do kind of need to pop your entire Locust Wave out.
Yeah.
It will not last too long against that many beams.
Arguably too many beams. There's a certain point where, like, the amount of Colossus you have is like diminishing returns. Like, you want a more rounded out army. Going mass Colossus like this is a little bit scary because Pacomike, he is working towards that Spire. Like, he's gonna be working on that anti-air, and Shellbee has to think about, like, the next step as well,
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we haven't gotten any Storms out, any High Templar or Archons or anything. Especially going up against Locusts, that is the AoE you generally want to have, since they can shoot up.
Yeah, like even Archons, right? Like, because of how beefy they are.
Exactly, but for the time being, it's pretty much just Colossus Stalker coming out from Shellbee. Still quite a ways off from maxing out. That's a massive Locust Wave.
Oh my god, I just love how Pacomike...
that up.
Yeah, I like how he got the Nidus Worm. He just waddled across the map. He just waddled across, and he's dealing a lot of damage.
That is a dead base. That is a lot of dead probes. It's looking like Pacomike gonna be stepping up to match point here. But we'll see. This is still a very scary army when there aren't any locusts out.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like, there are 0 locusts right now, so at least the hatchery is gonna go down. But how much more damage can Shellbee do? Because he really has to just go for the throat here.
I just realized he doesn't have +1.
It's still on the way. He got the forge a while ago as well.
Chrono boost, please.
Oh god. Okay, he's pushing. He's pushing his way through, but the locust wave did recharge.
Yeah, he's about to get flanked right now.
Oh god.
But again, these locusts do not really last for too long. They do a lot against the buffer that Shellbee has got. Especially considering that these stalkers were the main damage dealer against the Roach Ravager. That is, the tides are starting to swing to the Zerg favor in this battle.
Oof,
There's a little bit of time here that Shellbee can, try to abuse the fact that Pacomike doesn't have any locusts out, but that's not going to last for too long. And considering that Pacomike, he's already about to have +2 Carapace, it's going to take a while for him to start really killing any of these Zerg units.
Yeah, unlike Shellbee, like, Pacomike hasn't been neglecting his upgrades. And Shellbee, honestly, he should have used this opportunity because the army wasn't too big for Pacomike. Like, he could have just kept pushing, kept being a little bit more aggressive. Now he's given Pacomike enough time to remax. And now he's got, like, a decent amount of Roaches, Ravagers, even Vipers are coming out.
This is just about the dream team right now for the Zerg player. I mean, no Hydras or no Corruptors or anything, but even still, this is a very beefy army coming out for him. He is pushing Shellbee all the way back. One of these Colossus already taken out. These are very expensive units coming out from Shellbee, by the way.
Oh yeah, definitely. Something that's working something that's working his way though is that he keeps like waiting out the locust waves. So again, like that's a lot of like dead supply at the moment. So Shellbee does have a bit of a window here where he can just push on forward, but he has to be careful because his army is still like a little fragile.
Here come a couple of yoinks here, and already 2 Colossus coming out, and the flank here to make it all complete. Fortunately, the Vipers, moved a little bit too far forward, but he doesn't really need them anymore. The Colossus were taken out. And I feel like Shellbee just doesn't have any steam left in him.
Exactly. Like, when you're up against a Roach Ravager army, Colossus are okay, but mate, like, sprinkle in some Immortals, that would have been amazing to really, like, push through that. Like, pure Colossus, we saw them just tip over and crumble, and just like that, the count was reset.
I just realized Shellbee actually has a bit of a bank on him, and this is something that Protoss players do quite a bit, but that's usually when they're going for more of a gateway-focused army, right?
Yeah.
Shellbee, though, he is a lot more robo-focused. He needs to spend his money right now, but Pacomike isn't making it easy on him.
Not at all. As Pacomike, he's just throwing away his Roach Ravager, dealing whatever damage he can. His Locust Wave is defending. Pause! Gets caught.
He's trying to reevaluate. Am I dead?
Shellbee, please. Vortex, give Shellbee some of your internet. What's going on, man? Like,
That's where we find out that Shellbee actually lives out in the mountains. It's owned by his friend, Andy.
Yeah, it's possible. As again, Vortex in the chat is Peruano. He is Peruvian, just like Shellbee, and unfortunately, Shellbee, he is having some internet issues. Oh God, he's doing it for Peru right now, especially because there has been a change of things. So in the lower semis, eGGz was supposed to be facing Chaos Fate. Unfortunately, Chaos Fate has informed us that he is unable to participate.
No.
And that's such a shame because Chaos Fate, he's such a good player. He's so exciting to watch.
Easily one of the if we think of somebody like Special or Kelzer as the top LatAm Terran players, I feel like Chaos Fate is at least a solid 4 or 5 at the very least. On a good day, he's number 3.
Oh yeah, straight up number 3. I'm glad you remember that because we casted him in the Tucker Cup qualifiers, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and that's
we
where
were like I was like, right, Light, I'm getting ready for the ZVZ Fiesta coming down, and then Chaos Fate, he surprised me, and it was like, I got you, bro.
I mean, another thing that happened after that, it was like a week or two later in Battle of the Americas. I don't know if you saw, but Chaos Fate actually beat Cham in a TVZ.
I missed that, actually.
Yeah, I remember because I was casting with Yoda, and he's like, "What is going on right now?" And I'm like, "Man, you should watch like the Taco Cup qualifiers because he was on fire." And yeah, like we called, he was dubbed Baby Bjorn, like Chaos Fate, the Latin American Bjorn, even.
Microing with 300 MS of ping.
Yeah, he was looking so good, but unfortunately he won't be joining us today. So Shellbee is carrying that Peruvian flag, and I mean, he's pushing on forward, he's taking a hatchery, but he's also losing a Nexus.
Yeah, speaking of on fire, everything's on fire right now. Bases are being lost left and right. This weird base race scenario that we've got coming down. Roaches pounce right on top of the Colossus, no fear whatsoever. And again, the backbone of Shellbee's army is kind of lost, but considering it's Stalkers versus Roaches, it's still not too bad for him.
Yeah,
if we look at this one fight individually.
Exactly, that's the problem, right? He just lost every single Colossus. They were all immediately sniped. Sure, he wins the battle here to the south, but at what cost? And he's even losing more to the north.
At the cost of so many. But I tell you what, Shellbee, he's a fighter. They make him different down it. Oh, those files. They make him different up there in Shelbyville.
Yeah, they make him different, a little bit strange compared to Vortex. No one's a furry here, but you know what? Oh god, Shellbee,
he's still a bee.
Sure, yeah.
With a shell.
With a shell. Yo, is that a thing? Is it like a...
Whoa. Hermit bees.
There needs to be some fan art of Shellbee with a bee with a shell. That'd be amazing.
It really would. I imagine it'd be Ninja Turtle style. And finally, that Nidus does get popped. This time, it's just to make sure that the units of Pacomike can more easily make their way across the map. This is looking bleak.
Oh yeah, definitely. The Locust Wave, it flies overhead, it lands here in the natural, takes everything out. There's barely anything left for Shellbee. He's down to 2 Nexuses, 2 Colossus, 2 of everything. And that's...
Shellbee, he just got pinned on the map right now, but Shellbee, he just gave a kick and he's trying to fight back.
He is trying. Oh god, he does have a couple of Colossus here. We'll see how well he's gonna be able to micro. Unfortunately, there were no War Prisms made, so nothing here to help micro. One of them does fall.
I mean, kiting is something you can try to utilize with thermal ants, but eventually, yep, like that, you run out of space. Shield batteries run out of energy, and yeah, I guess Shellbee just cannot believe what's going on right now. He thought he was gonna take a map using his opponent's main race, but so far has not been the case. Pacomike now a match point. That means he has only 1 race left that he can play.
Oh, and it's his main race. It's his main race. GG. Pacomike takes game number 3. With that, he needs 1 more win, and he only has 1 race to play, as you said, and that's Protoss.
But you know what, Shellbee? He can continue to play Protoss, and Pacomike, not really known for his PvP, so...
You're not wrong, you're not wrong. Like, I mean, Shellbee, he could whip out his Protoss, and he could, I mean, he could start to bring it back, right? Start that comeback. It isn't the best matchup for Pacomike, so this is a really good opportunity for Shellbee.
Indeed it is.
Vortex in the chat. Todos exclamation mark Funada Vortex in the chat. Oh god.
Number 1 cowboy. Or I guess he's lamb, but you know.
Number 1 lamb cowboy.
Yeah.
Oh boy, and I hope you're ready, mate. We just got confirmation. It's gonna be a PvP. Oh boy.
Man.
Okay, so
I am speculating right now in my brain what he has in store. I mean, again, we've been saying that Pacomike not very known for his PvP. We'll see how much research Shellbee has been able to do though, because I feel like in standard PvP, Pacomike could take it. But PvP is rarely standard.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was about to pose you the question. What if you were in Shellbee's shoes here in a PvP, what kind of cheese would you do against Pacomike?
Proxy Mass Oracle.
So what else would
Mass Void Ray.
I mean, Proxy Stargate. Yeah, sure. I guess it could work. It could work. I think we're both in agreement though. It's got to be proxy. It's got to be some kind of cheese, right? Like as you were saying, I don't think you want to play straight up in like a standard game, standard PvP against Pacomike, right?
Absolutely not. Pacomike, I mean, he's well versed in the macro ways of Protoss. He's well versed in the other ways of Protoss as well, but he's used to playing out, more standard, longer games against his Zerg players. It's quite rare that he actually gets pretty shaken up in the early game, at least from another Protoss player.
Yeah, definitely. It's not something you see too often. Like it's got to be that early game where you take down Pacomike. Like Pacomike, he's known for his more late game style. Like that's what he wants to be in. That's where he thrives. We'll see if he can get there.
That we will. Here on Romanticide, LE. LE, of course, standing for Lovers. Española. Lovers Española. That's what we got right now. Here in the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner, the blue Protoss player, coming down all the way from the land of Mako. We have, representing Alpha X on his main race, he needs just one more win to secure himself into the finals. He is Pacomike.
Whoa. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Romanticide LE, Kyanse. Oh my god, Shellbee with the excuses. Here is the Protoss player, the red Protoss, saying it's hashtag rigged, hashtag arreglado. We have, representing Kraken Madness as well as the land of Peru, it is Shellbee.
I'll be honest with you, like, I saw Silencio and I thought, why are they talking about Jim?
You're like, Jaime,
I know that one.
Silencio, of course, meaning silence, which is why, again, like, Jim Rising's last name is amazing. Like, it's like, I didn't even know that was a last name. It's crazy.
You think he... I imagine he comes from a bloodline of like spies and ninjas. When they came up with Jim, and Jim was like, "I'm gonna do a chicken dance," you're like, "Oh, man."
I feel like regardless,
this is ruined.
I feel like regardless, his family would have been like that. Like, what is happening? What if you sullied our name? Oh boy. But
then Jets comes in with the whole no, actually this is good because this is he's like blending in with a ritual from someplace.
Exactly. He's disguising it, if you will. And both players, unfortunately, there was no proxy. Shellbee, he is playing this a little bit straight up, as straight up as you can, and so far they're both going for the same openers.
Yeah, timings are a little bit different, and Pacomike is going to be a bit more aggressive with these adepts compared to Shellbee being a bit more defensive with some stalkers. But can you really blame him? He is scouting around everywhere. He is so paranoid right now of what Pacomike might be throwing his way. Gets the pylon block.
Oh,
yeah,
pylon!
Love to see it.
And can he throw down the pylon in time? There's no pylon. Oh god!
Rip that probe. And now, a little bit shaky right now. Shellbee trying to evacuate with everything he's got. So much lost mining time. That's not even a natural base they can start mining from.
Yeah, exactly. God, F's in the chat for these probes. Like, they just haven't been able to mine whatsoever. And as you said, there is no natural. There's nowhere for them to go.
But there is a Phoenix now, finally. 5 probes this early on in the game. And Pacomike very comfortably, making workers, getting his natural base up. That's almost game-ending in a mirror matchup like this.
And you know what? Once again, they get in. Like, there was no block at the ramp whatsoever. This is something that is crucial in PvP, being able to deny those adepts. And now even more workers go down.
This is off race. Yeah, another 3 probes, and this is pretty painful. Pacomike ain't done, by the way. Now, our Phoenix is out right now, but Oracles, they can take a couple of Phoenix shots before they have to leave. And whole army hotkey, no!
Oh no, the Phoenix! Okay, the Phoenix does come back, so he will be able to help deal with this Oracle, but even more probes are going down. Oh my god.
He just straight up sacked this Oracle to get 8 more probes. 12 workers versus 30. 16, an entire mineral line has been taken out right now for Shellbee. And again, this early on in the game, in a mirror matchup, Pacomike, he is not going to have too much difficulty getting to the mid-game.
Mate, it's just not gonna get that far. Like, oh my god, F's in the chat. Maria, Papi, please. Shellbee, like, he's just lost so many workers and he just hasn't been able to keep up. He has to do something. He has to do something to get back into this. He has to somehow, some way clear out like an entire mineral line of Pacomike. He has less than half the workers of Pacomike.
Well, I tell you what, like, Phoenixes do 2-shot probes, but they do run out of graviton energy. The Stalkers are here to chase him away. And it's getting more and more desperate for Shellbee. I mean, what could he really do from this point forward?
He could call up Chan to unplug to Pacomike's internet or throttle it in some way so he also has really like heavy ping.
And the Uncle Mafia spread from Thailand, now they're in Mexico.
Exactly, like he's gotta maybe even use Jaime, use Jim Rising in some way, like regardless.
He hired his brother to Silencio the competition.
There you go. Anything, right? Like, because at the moment, I don't. Yeah,
the rate that Pacomike can rebuild these workers are far greater than the rate that Shellbee can kill them. The Stalkers are here just to be the final nail in the coffin, even setting up a bit of a fort pylon to reinforce just in case. Blink did finish a while ago, and yeah, GG is called. Pacomike, he is so far Le Duke de la Razas as he moves on to the grand finals. Man, what a way to go. It was honestly really surprising when Shellbee went for straight up building the Stargate in his own base.
Oh yeah. Shellbee lost his damn mind. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what Shellbee was thinking, trying to play straight up against Pacomike's main race of all things. Like, he's crazy. To be fair, like, how often does Shellbee really play Protoss? Like, does he know any refined cheese? Maybe not. Regardless, condolences. Shellbee is knocked out of this tournament. It is single elim, and Pacomike moves on to the finals.
Indeed, he does. And in the meanwhile, we're going to see who his opponent is, as it seems there was a quick little change here on the Liquipedia. Of course, we said Chaos Fate was unavailable to play his match, but it seems like we might be getting a replacement for him.
Oh, yes, we are. As we have a bit of a team kill here. It is a new team. Both of these players are going to be representing Rebirth Esports. For those people in the Latin American scene, they could be familiar with that name. Rebirth, of course, is a Chilean esports organization. They were able to run a couple of Chilean-only events earlier last year, and they were incredibly successful, and they are really prominent in other esports, and they're starting to actually dabble their toes into StarCraft 2, and they're actually forming a StarCraft 2 team.
Hashtag the stun and darkness.
Get on it.
Yeah, getting on top of that. I'm just saying, if a Colombian gets picked up by that team.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, eGGz does live in Chile. So, it's close enough. It's close enough.
Oh, and I'm already liking the potential we've got here. So of course we did talk about eggs. El Huevos El Muerto himself. He is of course a Zerg player coming down from Latin America. He is one of the, I would say, one of the most storied players from Latin America. Like obviously you normally think of Latin American Zerg players, you think like Jim, you think of Cham, but Eggs pretty solid third place.
Mm-hmm.
But his teammate, a Terran main, we have Tavo, also going to be carrying that Peruvian banner. And fun fact, like Tavo, that's tapioca, if I'm not wrong.
I don't know if that's accurate. I'm not too sure.
Tapioca in some. Oh wait, am I thinking of taro?
It's Brazilian, sure. Why not?
Yeah, I might be thinking of taro.
God damn it. But yes, Tavo is replacing Chaos Fate, and Dastan in the chat, everyone exclamation mark Funada Dastan El Chilean Protos, who, I mean, where have you been? Where have you been all this time? He's like, what the hell? They invited Tavo and not me? Mates. What's going on? You know, are you on Rebirth? You know, have you been playing in these weeklies? Have you been laddering? I don't think so. I don't know. If you have, where have the streams been?
Exclamation mark Funara Dastan Pinche is what he's telling us.
Yeah, of course, Dastan, he is focusing on university. Like, he is focusing on his studies. I believe it's like his final year as well.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, he's almost done. So, of course, university studies have been taking away some of our pro players in Latin America. But regardless, like, it's great to see Dastan still here, still supporting the scene.
Everybody's going to uni, man. It's like, I don't even get it.
Yeah, even this guy, Yaku. Like, god damn it. Like, who does he think he is?
It was so weird when, funnily enough, everybody I knew in StarCraft was like, yeah, we're going to be focusing on like school at the same time.
Mm-hmm. God damn it. It's all your fault. You actually started it all.
I didn't start in October when most people did. I started in August.
Also welcome Fidnantok, as he's here, and yeah, you missed it. Pacomike, he looked really good. If you are a little bit late and you are joining us, this event, Rey de las Razas, translates to King of the Races, and as a result, this is a special event where our players are playing as different races. They have to win at least once with each race to advance and win the overall best of 5.
That way we get to know who is on top.
And who's on the bottom.
Exactly. I was going to be like, who's on top of their random ladder sessions, but then I kind of forgot the words for it.
But we did mention it, and honestly, I'm really impressed with Pacomike, like, and how what he was able to accomplish. Especially since, like, he was able to win and he relied on his main race at the very end, right? Like, it was impressive.
Yeah, in his worst main race matchup too.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very solid. I mean, even the game he lost when he was playing at TBT, he looked pretty dang good. He was macroing up to what would have been a pretty good timing if not for the fact that he forgot about Shellbee's army.
Yeah, exactly. Again, Shellbee, the only game he was able to win was with his main race, and we will see if that trend continues here, as we are going to be getting into Eggs, whose main race is Zerg, and Tavo, whose main race is Terran, and how they shape up when it comes to their off races.
That's what we're gonna have to be speculating on. Now, Eggs, he is of course a Zerg player, but I can tell you one thing, Light, at the very least. He should be decent as Terran, as I've been watching his stream lately. He's been playing a lot of the human faction in Age of Empires.
I knew you were going to bring that up. Yes, it's true. Eggs has been playing a decent amount of Age of Empires, and there are plenty of men. Not quite with guns, but men there, you know. That's like half a Terran. So
I think Age of Empires 3, you can get men with gun.
True, you can get men with gun.
I don't know which one he's been playing though.
I'm pretty sure it's been number 2, Age of Empires 2.
There we go.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hype around that. So Yeah, we'll see how his mechanics are able to transfer over. Same with Tavo, like they're both solid players. Tavo has been slowly on the rise. He, as a Peruvian player, he is still overshadowed by players like B-Lord and Chaos Fate, and I would argue even Shellbee, but now he has an opportunity to... no, I would
really, no.
I would rate...
isn't really known as a player.
Yeah, not anymore. Back in the day, yes. But Tavo, like, it's his opportunity to shine and maybe cause an upset here with his off races.
Yeah. Taking out his own teammate. I just realized neither of these players are Chilean.
Yeah.
So once again, just from now at the Stan,
Mm-hmm.
why aren't you on a Rebirth team?
Mm-hmm.
And as we figured it out, Light, we were waiting for it. We do in fact get it here on Lightshade LE. We're in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way to the top left-hand corner. The Teal Protoss player. He is a man of culture who uses the classic Nexus skin, representing Rebirth of StarCraft, both Chile as well as Colombia. He is El Muerto himself, eGGz.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have a Peruano, the Peruvian, now Protoss player as well, as this is a PvP. He is purple, also representing Rebirth Esports, the Chilean team, the new Chilean team. This is kind of their debut, really. It is Tavo.
Now, here's my favorite thing about this matchup, Light. We have both Destan and Starduck in the chat right now looking to critique our Latin American players off races.
Oh, yes, exactly. Oh my, okay, a couple of sprays are being thrown down. Again, like, Rebirth Esports is a very new team. It was formed, like, a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. So they haven't really been able to showcase themselves. I think they were even waiting to like reveal like an announcement as well, like in some coming days. But they're here, you know, they are representing their team. And neither of these players' main race is Protoss. So Destan and Starduck critique away, you know, exclamation mark Funada these players and what they end up doing.
But so far, from my own non-Protoss main race eyes, not too many mistakes coming down. eGGz has a bit of an interesting position with his gateways, and also a very interesting fort pylon.
Yes, he does. The probe is ready and waiting there as well, as he is slowly gathering up that gas. We'll see. I imagine this is going to be, there it is, Proxy Stargate.
Here we go. Now Tavo, he's going to have to reciprocate with a proxy robo of his own.
It's been a while since we've seen that. It's been a while. Unfortunately, and he is getting a Stargate at home. Of course, the problem is that if they both go for oracles, like the Oracle of eGGz is going to hit first, it's going to hit harder. And what is Tavo going to have to defend, especially because he is opting to skip his stalkers and he's going for adepts instead.
Yeah, both our players are going for all-out aggression so far, or as aggressive they can really be with a standard non-proxy game. That's what I was going for. Non-proxy build. Tavo is on top of this.
Yo, already Tavo greater than Shellbee. Funada Shellbee was not able to throw down a pylon against Pacomike multiple times. So Tavo already showing you know he's a little bit more adept at this race.
Say the least.
Oh.
eGGz started to lose a couple of probes, so it was a decent mineral walk, but again, probes that can actually take too much damage. 5 of them already going down, and eGGz cannot be happy about that.
Oh,
Oracle now being crowded out.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is actually an incredible amount of damage. 7 probes go down. Meanwhile, this is where eGGz can get back into this. The Oracle has been chronoed out. It is on the way. Nothing shoots up.
There's no anti-air over here. All of these probes are gonna go down. And eGGz, he is looking to chase that. There is not a chrono boost available for these stalkers. And just like that, eGGz is able to equalize the damage. Meanwhile, the Oracle of Tavo starting to go across the map, but they're already stalkers. This Adepts, they do not let up.
No, they do not. Okay, so the Oracle of eGGz did run out of energy, so that is it. That is it when it comes to the damage being done. Oh, and the Adepts, they are on a move. Meanwhile, the Oracle dives in.
And it is hunting down a bunch of these probes, but not able to get too much damage done. This is a straight-up massacre, Light.
Oh, exactly. Probes are dying on both sides. You do not want to be a probe in this PvP, as the Adepts of eGGz finally do shade in, and they're going to be able to kill even more workers here.
You can definitely tell that they're playing their off races. SCVs are a little bit tougher than probes. You can afford to fight with them a little bit. Don't want to be keeping them in the fight too much. And of course, with drones, you can just pump out a bunch of them. You're fine with losing a bunch if you can pump out a bunch more.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really the case with probes, and yeah, eGGz pulling up on top a little bit.
And what's scary is that if we look at the workers, you know, eGGz, he's ahead by 6 workers. Not only that, but he's going across the map with these stalkers as well. So Tavo, he's a little bit on the back foot. He does have a couple of units to defend, but like there's no like shield battery here. The only thing going for him is the high ground. And he just gave that up.
And he just gave up on the high ground, yeah.
Oh god, no!
Wait for it back. GG is called. eGGz is going to be taking game number 1.
GG.
GG. Very nicely done there. And, all right, like a couple of things went wrong for both of our players. Obviously, they're not really used to playing Protoss that much. But I will say this. One thing they absolutely nailed down. In a PvP, neither of them expanded. And that was 100% the right choice.
Oh yeah, already like in that game, like that was so much closer. That was a massive slugfest, and they both like showed that they knew what they were doing, as compared to like Pacomike versus Shellbee. Again, like Shellbee floundered against Pacomike. This was a lot closer, and it may not be their main races, but I do feel like their Protoss plays were a little bit more around the same skill level.
Yeah. Which, I mean, can kind of make sense. They were both playing their off race.
Yeah.
And it was a mirror matchup.
Oh, boy.
You all in the chat, the Stan is here telling us that Rebirth was, at one point, one of the most important clans in Los Angeles. But it was dead for a while, so yeah, it straight up got rebirthed. Yeah, it's really living up to its name. It's rebirthed.
Yeah. You know, Rebirth. It was, of course, one of the biggest names in LA, in Los Angeles, and it's cool to see them back once again. Oh boy. And thank you so much. Sorry we missed it in the middle of that PvP, but thank you so much to Fernandok for giving a gifted sub to Starduck.
Hey, that's a bunch of months in a row, I'm just gonna assume. Heart for Nantok. So, you know, it's a new year. It's a new time for gifting. Christmas is over, but I tell you what, Lunar New Year is coming up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is coming up, and it's really cool for this team to be back. It's a bit of a shame that they have come back, but already their 2 players are in the team kill here in the first event of 2021.
But you know what? Is that unfortunate, or is that exactly what you want for a team building exercise?
Oh. Is that what Mario keeps saying whenever he plays against his teammates on Team NV and just like proxy reapers them?
Yeah. They're all in the new Team NV office, and they're like, all right, we are going to need some practice coming down. Oh my god, Mario and SOS, both of them. Can you imagine? They quote-unquote practice they're giving their teammates.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
At least they don't have to practice against Rogue.
Yeah, at least they have that going for them. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. No surprise to anyone, but of course, Tavo did pick Terran as his race of choice here, and unfortunately, he's going to be going up against eGGz with his Zerg.
Yeah, all right. We had both of them playing their off races last time. Now they're both playing their main races, and I kind of figured eGGz would pick Zerg here. again, just watching his Age of Empires streams, he's a very momentum sort of based player in AoE. And I figure it's pretty much the same here. His strategy is kind of the same here in this Specify. If he just wants to get to a quick little, or ideally a quick little 2-0 onto match point, and then from then on, he's it's going to be more on Tavo, right, to turn things around, even though eGGz will be playing on his off race. But regardless, we are now here on Oxide LE. We be oxidizing and we be breathing here in the bottom left-hand corner map, swinging all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. The Teals player playing his main race. We have representing Rebirth Esports, as well as Chile, as well as Colombia. We have eGGz.
Oh, for 13-12. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have also representing the new team Rebirth Esports, as this is a bit of a team kill, also playing his main race. It is the Peruvian Terran player, the purple Terran. Oh boy.
Oh, what is wrong with
No!
Peru? No! Tavo! Vortex and help!
Porque? Okay.
Game paused.
Alright, we're good for now.
Okay, yep. Calling for a bit of a pause.
Just gonna have to check a couple of things here and there. You know, again, it is a little bit unstable all the way up there on Andes Mountain.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that both Shellbee and it seems like Tavo as well are having some internet issues.
Jesus, 1,000 ping. Awante.
That is, you know, hold on, you know, bear with me as the ping is going down.
So it should be more of like, Awante.
Sure. So yeah, I don't know what it is, but something's going on with Peruvian internet today. You know, maybe Vortex.
Yeah. I was gonna say he did say that he got his laptop fixed or something like that recently, didn't he?
That's probably what it is. You know, he's just downloading all the anime and it's just sucking up the Peruvian bandwidth.
He's like doing his jump cut of One Piece or something. What do they watch in Peru? You know what? It probably wouldn't be One Piece if it was Vortex, would it?
Nah, it'd be like some kind of harem anime, slice of life.
There we go. This is why we need him and Milk to be roommates.
We do not need that because I'm afraid of what would happen. But here, as his internet has cleared up in the top right-hand corner, we have Peruvian Terran player. He is purple, representing Rebirth Esports. It is Tavo.
The tapioca himself.
Oh boy, and he went for an SCV scout, so he's aware, he knows.
Now, how is he going to prepare? Again, he is playing on his main race, so he should not have too much trouble preparing against this. He is going for the Reaper still. I do like that. Best line of defense right now, and will be walling off. You'll love to see it. High ground CC.
Yeah, there we go. We do have a full wall off. We do have the CC on the high ground, but is it going to be enough? Because a couple more links are on the way here for eGGz. Again, he shouldn't be breaking into the main base unless something crazy happens.
And so he just backs away. He's content with what map control he's been able to establish so far.
And what's crazy is he's not joining up. He's still making links. Oh boy, Ling's speed is about to finish up, so he's going to be going for a big link flood here. Okay, he's sprinkling in some drones.
Okay, I have a little bit of a contingency plan. He did manage to avoid this Reaper with his main forces Zerglings, and he is getting a second base up and running. Only a single Marine at the moment to defend here for Tavo. But again, with that full wall, it's going to be, as long as Tavo is on top of his repair, that shouldn't be too much. He should be able to hold on to that without too much difficulty.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, especially if he gets like a Hellion out or something along those lines. These things really, they're just containing his opponent, making it a little bit more difficult to get down into that low ground and expand.
No,
This is risky.
Tavo, he pulled a move that I do.
Okay,
Well, the
okay.
Marines didn't realize they had to swap the add-on.
I was worried because like high ground vision was there. If Eggs wanted to, he could have gone in and like stopped the factory from landing, and that would have been game. That would have been terrifying.
It really would have been. I mean, one Marine. What is that going to do against a whole flood of Lings that just surrounds it?
Oh boy, but thankfully that didn't happen. You know, the factory did land, and we are going to be getting into a more regular game.
Yeah, Eggs, the disrespect, it did not work out. Thought he could take out his new teammate early on with straight up to 13-12, but no. Tavo, he's solid. He's Tapioca.
Is Tapioca solid? Is that?
I mean, you can mash it up, or you can like, powderize it.
There you go. There you go. Tapioca. I was about to say those are the balls, right? Like you can get tapioca balls. Yeah.
I guess it's a root vegetable that, it uses for it.
For sure, as it looks like we have a bit of a 1-1-1 coming out from Tavo. He has a decent amount of Hellions here, so he can get out there and perhaps gain some map control. Meanwhile, ooh, Eggs with the Roach Warren.
Huh. Interesting little follow-up. Eggs still trying to get map control, still trying to assert himself on the map, but he's got other things to worry about. Tavo getting BC, and I don't see a lot of queens out right now for Eggs, like.
Oh boy, yeah, not at all. Like so far there are 3 queens, and he's even getting a fast lair, which does halt queen production in the main as well. So potentially this BC could get a lot of damage if it goes unscouted.
It definitely could. It's a really good job so far Tavo has done to deny the Lings from getting into that main base. There also isn't a overlord that's on that side of the map. Eggs, spread them out, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like he only has 1 across the map, and it's nowhere near close enough to get a scout off, especially without pneumatized carapace.
Decent block here. But again, the Hellions are kind of least of Eggs' concern right now.
Yeah, exactly. As the first BC does finish up, and how many queens are there? There are 1, 2. There's only 3.
That's not going to be enough. On the bright side for Eggs, Tavo is not dedicating himself to the BCs, but I guess on a bit of a not so bright side, the Spire does go down, no cancel.
Oh, no cancel.
And now Eggs, he sees the BC, he's probably gonna be trying to remake that Spire, get a bunch of Corruptors out. But as we know, Tavo, he's not committed to the BCs.
Exactly, like he's just focusing on his bio play at the moment, and again, like Eggs was ready and waiting. He took all his gases to go into that Spire, to go into Mutas, and that's just not going to be happening. Meanwhile, there's no mining whatsoever here at the third.
The Roaches are attacking the third baseline!
Oh my god, Roaches, please! The Roaches, they were too busy attacking the third. Meanwhile, a queen goes down. Only 2 queens left here. There is 1 here at the natural, but so many drones have gone down.
This is game-deciding damage here.
Oh yeah.
If that Spire did manage to finish up and Eggs was able to get a nice flock of Mutas out to go around and counter harass, I would definitely say that Eggs can turn this game around. But we'll definitely see. There is a force here. Lings and Ravagers, but there's so many Marines.
Exactly. So many Marines. You know what? In a couple of seconds, in 8 seconds, Stim will finish up. And once that happens, then Tavo will just be able to mow through this fragile army, and Eggs is forced back.
On the bright side, at least Tavo's BC does go down. That third base is in a little bit of pressure. So there's definitely something here for Eggs. He's remade his drone count. And I think he has realized with his initial pressure with the Roach Ravager that, okay, Tavo, he's not dedicating himself to the star port play. I'm fine with sticking with the Roach Ravager for now. He does need to transition to more Lair Tech pretty soon, though.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit concerned. This is a bit of an anti-timing because 1-1 still not quite done for Tavo. So he does come in, he does have Stim, but he is forced back.
Just about barely. Exit supply cap. Oh, this is gonna last for a bit long.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't sound correct.
I mean,
But
he just
that's how
made
I
6
describe it.
overlords. Like, oh, he does not want to get supply blocks. And meanwhile, there we go. 1-1 just finished up for Tavo, so now he's going to be pushing out with his Marines. To be fair, there's a decent amount of Roach Ravagers, so Eggs, he may have enough here to hold on. Uh-oh.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. But here comes the multi-prong. That spawning pool is in so much trouble.
Oh god, I mean, we'll see what he decides to go for. He focuses a little bit on the Ravagers, and it looks like he will be able to snipe one of them.
The spawning pool is so low, but it does not in fact go down. This drop should be cleaned up. Nope, just kidding.
Mate, the Roaches are going to go down. This Ravager is so close to going down as well. Whenever Tavo wants to, he can just back off and finish off that spawning pool, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, love to see it.
Oh boy, at the same time, we have that drop over to the right-hand side and goes into the third.
Now that's, to say the least, a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Tavo's still building up his army back at home. This is a fraction of Tavo's army supply right now, and it's not even getting cleaned up
Exactly.
efficiently.
Yeah, like, with only 2 drops, like, Eggs is being pulled apart. Like, he's still going. Like, it's not stopping.
That's ought to be it. Tank has not even made its way across the map yet.
Yeah, okay, finally the main army is pushing on forward. Like, he doesn't even need the main army. Like, so much of Eggs' main, like, his Roaches and Ravagers are falling to just, like, a handful of Marines here and there.
That's the power of upgrades. And sort of stepping. I just realized Eggs couldn't make any links.
He couldn't.
eGGz call. Tavo tying up that series sideways 1-1 with his main race. Now, here's the problem, though. That was Tavo's main race, and he's not allowed to play it anymore. Eggs, he can still pick Zerg.
That's the terrifying thing. Like, Tavo, well done, like, well deserved. He takes out Eggs with both of them being their main races, but that does mean that Eggs, he's able to use Zerg again. Like, he still has that available to him until he gets a win.
Yeah, time to play Terran. I'll play a TVP, and then in the next round, welcome back to the main race.
Exactly.
Nope, but seems like Eggs is sticking with Zerg so far, and we do have a group, please. Redeemed here by Finartok. So we'll see if we can get Kuro to jump in. It's pretty late over there in the EU land. But yeah, we shall see. And saluda, hola, grupo. ¿Cómo siendas?
Buenos días. Todos.
Arriba.
Buenos días, Krupp.
Buenos noches.
Krupp, what time is it in the land of Europa?
3:35 a.m.
3:35 in the morning. So everyone, exclamation mark Funara Finantok for forcing Kuro to cast at 3 in the morning. How dare you do something like that? It'd be a shame if you did it again.
It'd be a shame if somebody had to leave halfway and
Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys cast this. Bye.
No.
I'll be observing.
Arriba. Okay, asking right now. Listo. So yeah, welcome into the casting that's here, Kuro. I've been liking. Oh, I actually just started without you. Just kidding.
Get her in. Get her in.
I'm sending invite. I have sent
I'm
in.
face spamming.
I have sent inv.
I just got here and I'm already face spamming.
That's the whatchamacallit. That is the mark of a good group, please. We are jumping in soon. TM.
Azul, please. Azul. Gracias. I'm just reading the chat.
Boss. Oh, I thought we were just in colors.
So how's your Spanish, Echo?
Como estados de la el pueblo Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah. As the Intro Española is totally getting
Right.
up there.
Light times Nani.
Yeah. As we continue on here onto Romanticide LE. We're here in the top left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner of the map. We have the blue Protoss player gonna be representing Rebirth, Chile, as well as Peru. Gonna be carrying on that banner for his boy Vortex Lamb in the chat. Playing his off race once again, he is Tavo. La tapioca.
This is still so awkward without the fanfare.
Mm.
Oh my, oh my. Well, anyway, in the bottom right corner of this map, about to be scouted by Tavo, we have the red Zerg player going pool first, representing also Rebirth, if I'm not wrong, right? Right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. And as well as Colombia and kind of Chile, we have X.
He just keeps trying to 12 pool, and Tavo, he's on top of things.
Oh, is he gonna check? Is he gonna check? Nah, okay. Never mind.
No, he
He's just going for a block.
And
I was half expecting Tavo to just like put like a proxy pylon or something, just because.
that'd be the ideal. Proxy pilot. Oh, imagine if you got a forge back at home.
Yes.
That'd be the dream. It is a little bit more awkward walling off as Protoss against us.
Yeah, the good part is because he blocked the hatchery, like the Lynx actually like were busy destroying the pylon instead of attacking on the other side of the map, so he had the time to finish the wall.
Yeah, that Zealot not really gonna be letting anything go past it. But in the meanwhile, I mean, the Cybercore is still a little bit far from completion. They can nibble along on this building Cybercore. Try to deny it as best. Oh no! This is a plague block!
Oh
This
no!
is massive.
It was that one pylon on the other side of the map.
No!
Tavo, no! Not like this!
Double, please. He is doing a pretty good job of mineral walking. Actually, really good surround on top of all these lings.
Yeah, you
But
never
I lost
underestimate
money time.
workers.
Oh, definitely. That's why they got a union.
In the meantime, X is not actually like committing to this. He just took a base, so he's two in the making. And yeah, he's just poking with the links, but he's not actually like trying to finish the game with this.
Which I would say is a very, very big brain move coming out from him. He knows that already he'd be pretty far ahead by just getting that natural base, right? Now, he's going to be up two whole bases for quite some time. We'll see how greedy he decides to go, though. That's had the duality of Zerg in it. You focus too much on drones, well, Adepts, they can absolutely ruin your day.
He could trade into that, right?
Yeah.
It's just one queen. And
Yeah.
a few links.
Yeah, I guess there isn't really much...
Okay, never mind. I was like, is he gonna finish that one? Okay.
And he heard the speculations, he heard the concerns. He thought, oh, you know what? Good point. Stargate gonna be being thrown down right now for Tavo. A little bit different than we've seen in game number one. No, actually completely similar to game number one. Oh, come on,
What
get
was
that!
it in game one?
Oh, so close.
What was it in game one?
PvP, that was when Eggs went for the proxy Stargate.
Alright, true.
Tavo built a Stargate back at home.
What do you think it will be in PvZ though?
Knowing Tavo, a Terran player, I would imagine Oracle into Void Ray or Void Ray into Oracle. I feel like Tavo would be trying to get some harassment done across the map.
So it's a very safe choice, Yaku.
Exactly.
What did that? It got one kill, right? I think that was only one kill.
Yeah, one kill.
Maybe.
that adept, and then the early harass got another one done. So yeah, a little bit of a miscalculation in the shade over there, but I guess Tavo was, his mind was a little bit elsewhere. Void Ray coming out, stock standard.
Yeah, I guess we'll see if he's gonna do like try to like make more Void Rays, but probably it's just to like chase Overlords around. Yeah, exactly.
And I hate being right.
And there's no Oracle coming up. I just wanted to point it out. Like, this is just a Void Ray.
He's supply blocked at the moment.
Sure. No, there's another Void
second
Ray.
Void Ray coming out from Tavo. Alright, so he is a little bit worried right now by the potential of Rojas coming out. We'll see how well Tavo has been able to really practice the transition from Void Ray early game into more of a charge-based mid-game.
See, I was gonna say, as a Terran player, Void Rays are probably the most annoying thing. Like, I've heard many Terrans being traumatized by proxy Void Rays. I was like, yes, you would go for Void Rays.
Are one thing I would imagine, but as a Terran player, when I see Void Rays being made back at home, the one thing I can think of is, all right, my Marines. Make short work of that.
True.
But then again, you know, eGGz, he ain't playing Terran.
He's still making Void Rays out of one Stargate. Like, in the same time, like, he's getting, like the Twilight Council and so on, like, on one hand, it doesn't look like he wants to go away, but on the other hand, he keeps making Void Rays.
Oh yeah, this is a transition. It's pretty much all about the mind games right now. Tavo, he wants to kind of put the fear of Skytoss into eGGz right now. He is going for that Hydra Den, and he's actually getting his upgrades up pretty quick, so we'll see how well Tavo is, or how many, I should say, chargelets or even adepts, if he decides to go that way, Tavo's gonna get when he hits that transition.
Yeah, wait, let me look at the unit stuff. eGGz got Roach Warren, but he didn't make a single Roach this game. He's actually just going Link Hydra, pure Link Hydra. So if Tavo goes for Zealots, that would work really well. Like, if he just like spams Zealots, like they chew through Hydras.
Absolutely do, especially if you can combine that with maybe some Storms or some Archons. That's a very dead Zerg army that you've got on your hands. I think eGGz hurt your concerns, and he did get a Roach. Token Roach that joins in. Oh no,
that
Roach.
too. That too.
It's more than one.
Here it is. They're not very helpful against Void Rays, but they're there. They're participating.
He just needs to make sure that, you know, he didn't waste his money on that Roach War. But he is getting
Roach speed as well.
Yeah, looks like a Ling Hydra. Roach Hydra composition coming out from him. Something we haven't seen in quite a while. It's all about Ling Hydra Lurker nowadays.
Unless you're Mew Micah.
Yeah, facts. True facts.
But yeah, both players are kind of just like, you know,
building up.
I guess there's a little bit of harass from the Void Rays, but other than that, like, they're just like going around the map. They're not like making any big moves. They're just like poking in.
Yeah, but eGGz, he is looking to set up for that big move. A little bit of multi-prong coming down. His upgrades are pretty decent. Actually, they're better than what Tavo's got. So they're pretty good. So that's about double the army supply, but again, he split up his army.
I'm sorry, those few roaches are still funny.
Got the back right now.
And the Zealots charge in right into the clump of Hydras, because all of the Hydras were in the front instead of the roaches.
And not ideal whatsoever. But I tell you what, Kuro, you know why the roaches were in the back line? They were waiting for the Archon. I think, maybe.
But the Void Rays, though.
Yeah, and again, the Hydras were kind of dealt with earlier on. It's still enough of them alive to deal with these Void Rays. And, I mean, this is the main army of Tavo. Meanwhile, we didn't really get to mention it. In the natural base and the main base, eGGz, he managed to sneak those things in.
Yes.
So many probes are down.
50, 51, 53, they're still going. The game is over, but the probes are still going. Yeah, because there on in the west there was a clump of links that like was just waiting for this attack, and once Tavo focused on defending this, like they just slipped in.
G and then another G. Man, I had a couple of concerns there with how eGGz split up his army, but I guess that's the power of the main race, right? That's eGGz. He's very well practiced with this build. He knows exactly how to split up his supply to make it as efficient on the two fronts as possible. And with that, he's on match point. Now he has only Terran left to play.
How is his Terran? Gonna find out.
I heard good things, though. He has been playing Age of Empires.
This is going to be his final form, and as you said, eGGz, he won with Protoss earlier. Now he has finally won with his main race Zerg, and Terran is all he can choose left in this series.
What do we
And
think?
with that-
Kuro? Okay.
Well,
yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
You okay?
We'll let you lie down or something. It is getting late over there.
Thank you for joining us, Kuro, but get some sleep. Get some sleep. Any more group pleases from here will be delegated to the next broadcast. It's fine. It's fine.
Any group please will be delegated tonight.
Elite has a really good Kuro impression.
Does he?
Hello, comrade. Internet.
Duh.
Da.
Damn it! Bye.
Bye.
And with that, yeah, we are now on a match point. Darking a little bit upset that that was only one group, please.
Mhm.
But man, it would be a shame if if somebody had to leave the broadcast halfway, and we needed someone in. The only one awake was
It's okay. To what you're alluding to, we should be able to make it through, the two of us, through at least this series. How far we can make it through the final series, mate, it's been a while. I'm okay with solo casting. I don't mind. In case something comes up, as I know you have classes today.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, that's maybe starting in about an hour. So no pressure, eGGz and Tavo, but we're against the clock.
Race against the clock. Oh boy, as
King of the race against the clock.
There you go. Oh, and Tavo's gonna be playing Protoss again.
Okay, if it didn't work once, then you may as well third time's a charm. That's the expression.
Exactly. If it doesn't work once, then try again, because why not?
Yeah. Like once is only once is the thing. 3 times though. That's a charm.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see if eGGz can get that 3 wins, or if Tavo can bring it to that ace match. We're going to be able to find out. And as you said, eGGz, what does his Terran look like? Like, I got no idea, mate. Like, is he confident with his bio? Is he going to play mech just cause? Is he going to proxy?
I imagine he's going to be wondering, like, why can't I build any cavalry? Oh, but apparently his Terran is Masters.
Ah.
It's looking pretty decent. As we load in onto Def Ora LA. We're here in the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner. The player who is once again playing his off race for the 3rd time. The Blue Protoss player coming down from Peru, the mountain owned by Andy himself. Representing Rebirth of StarCraft, we have Tavo.
And in the bottom right, we have El Colombiano, we have El Chileno. He's a bit of both. He's also now Terran. He is red, representing Rebirth Esports. It is El Capullo, El Huevo, El Envuelto, eGGz.
El Capullo. That's a new one on me.
Yeah, El Capullo. That's the cocoon, I believe, in Spanish.
Ah, wait, what about where's El Muerto? El Muerto.
That's something you made up.
El Muerto. What?
Yeah.
No, Yoda introduced me to El Muerto.
No, that's you confuse that with El Envuelto. That's.
What?
I wasn't correcting you earlier because I just assumed it was one of the Yakuza things that you were doing.
No, it's El Muerto, right?
El Muerto is the dead, mate. That's like
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
It does. I don't know how that associates with eggs though.
Because he's... When you're in a cocoon, are you dead or are you not dead?
Or are you alive?
Exactly.
Well, he's gonna try to play like alive right now as he is playing Terran and going for an NG block. Oh.
Tavo did not see this coming whatsoever, but he did go Zealot first, funnily enough. Usually when we see the Protoss player do this, it's to, try to put some pressure on the Terran player across the map very early on, but you don't normally see it on a map like Death Aura, do you? Where, it snakes around like this, it does take a little while to get there. The Terran player will likely already have a Reaper out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's surprising that he did go for the Zealot first, but I mean it's important that he did so that he could get rid of that denial and get that expansion going, and we'll see what this Zealot can do across the map.
Angel.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, as a Zealot, well, on the plus side, the Zealot can at least try to keep the Reaper back at home, right? Not try to, or prevent it from getting any scouting done across the map. We'll see about this bunker.
Ooh, yeah.
That's the other thing that denies the Zealot.
Yeah, exactly, right. The bunker is going to finish up shortly. The Marine is going to be able to dive into it as well. The Shade, to be fair, the Adept can bypass the bunker and go straight into that mineral line, maybe even try and deny the expansion.
Yeah, that's definitely the dream. Here's the thing about Zealots, they can take a couple of shots, so yeah, can just sort of run through the bunker and get to the safe grounds, if you will.
Yeah, getting into that mineral line, so he's not allowing Eggs to get any mining done whatsoever here, so it's a bit of payback because, the Nexus was delayed earlier.
Yeah, we'll see to what end Tavo is able to really put a dent in the economy here for Eggs, because, I mean, now the orbital command is done. A couple of mules available to be thrown down.
Exactly. I mean, these units shouldn't survive too much longer. There are a couple of Marines. Oh, they are going to go down. Uh-oh. Yeah,
that Adept. I thought it was a mistake when it shaded, but apparently that was just the position that Tavo needed. Mine, you gotta burrow.
Oh. The friendly fire!
Friendly fire!
Ah!
Like how we both saw that one coming. The Marine popped out of the barracks just to die to friendly fire. Ay, Dios mío.
Ay. Oh god, it does go down. Meanwhile, the Stalkers show up as well.
Tavo is not letting this rest whatsoever. So much lost mining time here. The SCVs are being pulled.
Everything is being pulled, mate, to try and deal with this. This is how dangerous this is.
Thankfully, the mine didn't burrow. I was imagining the potential friendly fire over there. The bunker is completely empty right now. Not at all what you want to happen. While there are stalkers being moved across the map. And with that, I mean, Eggs initially had some lost mining time. Now he's got a whole bunch of lost mining time.
Yeah, workers have been dying.
Quite a lot.
Exactly. Well, we'll see. We'll see. It's kind of dangerous, right? That mine isn't here at home to defend. There are a decent amount of stalkers. Slowly but surely, the bunker is being chipped away at, but the repair is on point.
Man, stalkers. They are the bane of every Terran early game.
Yeah. Oh god. Okay, the Widowmine drop has been spotted. No reaction so far. Oh.
Keeps the mine alive though.
Oh, he does.
Such low health. One more stalker hit, and that mine is going to be pretty much wasted. Now, Eggs did mention get a little bit of scouting done. Let's confirm the other two gateways that are coming up. Not sure if he saw the Twilight Council researching. No, mine.
Oh, the mine goes down, but the mine is going to go back into the natural.
And the army did finish up. No propol, only 2 dead so far. And here's the thing about stalkers: they don't have splash damage. They can't. You can't hit the gateway and then have it splash into the mine.
I also just realized that eGGz also invested into that armory, so yeah, this might
And
be.
that's the reason why I liked him.
Yeah, it's being a little bit more annoying here as detection is required.
Whoa, hold up. Do you think that Tavo thought he killed the mine?
It's
Because
possible.
it was on very low health. Oh no, eGGz kind of revealing his hand here. Oh, just barely able to burrow and gets 4 more kills. That is the damage eGGz needed to equalize, but now, whole lot of Blink Stalkers. Oh, but eGGz is kind of prepared. He already has the tank siege up in the high ground.
Exactly, like there's a tank on the low ground, there's a tank on the high ground. Like Tavo, he's not in a bad position, but if he ends up throwing away all these stalkers, then he could just put himself behind.
Yeah. And there's already Bio being rallied here. He knows that the Blink Stalkers are on their way. Does blink right on top, but the Bio not quite in position.
Ooh.
The tank immediately getting denied. That was the split second where eGGz, he really needed his Bio in position. But because it weren't, he just lost 8 SCVs. What is it with these 2 players, like, and their workers just going down
Exactly.
every single game? The PvP, now into PvT. Oh.
Oh my god, it's just a slugfest, at least when it comes to the worker kills, as both players have taken some pretty big losses. eGGz, though, he does have his third CC, done, being turned into an orbital. Meanwhile, Tavo is getting his own third Nexus as well, so yeah, things are looking really good to get into the mid game here, especially since, for the most part, like, they're equal in worker counts.
I think one thing that's pretty important is that eGGz's tech lab on that Rax earlier on did not get focused, so he is working on getting Sim.
Yeah, Stim is going to be finishing up for eGGz as he is focusing a little bit more on that Bio. Meanwhile, Tavo is striking around the center of the map, trying to catch any kind of drop moving out, or you know, just in general, keeping an eye on that third base.
How long is that really going to last, though? Because very soon, eGGz, his Sim is about to finish up. He's got a pretty healthy tank count. He's got a lot of Bio. Blink away. Oh, man. That would have been awkward if he blinked right into a bunch of Bio.
Yeah, definitely. But honestly, that was a really good trade. Like, he was able to snipe a medevac, so only 1 medevac remaining, which means every single Stim is going to hurt that much more for eGGz.
Absolutely. He's going to be that much more careful with when he presses that T button.
See how often he does. Meanwhile, he does scan. He confirms that there is a third base with a bunch of probes mining, and that does not deter eGGz. He is still pushing out across the map.
Yeah, +1 a little bit late, but considering the harassment done and the pressure being put on him in the early game, kind of understandable. Didn't quite have the gas for it. Tavo looks like he's building into a Swarm Toss style. He hasn't really gotten a Robo Bay or Stargate, and he's just really focusing on his ground upgrades.
Yeah, he's focusing on his gateway army, right? Like, he has charge and blink, so like, this isn't a bad army, but I don't know how well it's gonna scale, right? Like, ideally you want some Colossus or Disruptors or Storm or something.
Yeah, they need some kind of a backbone, and it looks like Tavo has sort of realized that. Now working on his Robo Bay. Still trying to get some damage done here, but the tank spread out beautifully, and that's a heck of a lot of Bio. Getting a Concave, not a good trade at all for Tavo. Only a couple of Bio units went down against quite a number of Stalkers and Zealots.
Exactly. He pushed up a ramp into tank fire, and he committed as well. Like, he was there for a good, like, 3 or 4 tank volleys. Like, that was not ideal whatsoever for Tavo. So he is forced back, and finally, we see some tech to get into that AoE.
Show me the thermal ants. All right, and this is pretty good. eGGz did not get a Raven out, so not going to be able to disable those. But he did invest in a pretty quick, what's the word I'm looking at here, like reactor for that starport. So once he scans and notices, oh right, they're going for a Colossus, will be able to get a couple of Vikings.
Yeah, definitely. As at the moment, I was actually a little bit surprised. eGGz, he scanned himself, right? But there wasn't a thing there.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It was okay. But yeah, eGGz, like, it looks like he is getting ready to go for some drops. The scary thing is that so far he was scanning to see a 4th base. I don't believe he has seen. Yeah, he has not seen the robotics base. So he is unaware of whether there is Storm or Colossus at all. Period. So he hasn't gotten that signal to switch up his tech. But we'll see if he even needs it.
Yeah, he's got a pretty healthy Marauder count regardless. All it takes is a bit of positioning for those Colossus to really be rendered ineffective, but he's still continuing to pump out medevacs. There is still, not a Ghost Academy or anything out right now for eGGz, so this push has to do quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, and it does get spotted by this observer from Tavo, so he is aware. What's scary is there's only one shield battery here, and it's a little bit exposed as well. There it is, a couple more being turned down.
Yeah, meanwhile, that double drop from eGGz, or single drop rather, is doing quite a bit of damage. Probes to get evacuated, and now he's focusing on his fight. The Colossus looks so exposed, and it goes down.
The Colossus goes down. The drop, it still hasn't been dealt with. It's still dealing damage in that natural, even evacuates, and with that, only one Colossus remaining for Tavo.
The slow siege fort has begun here for eGGz. Once again, just putting on the pressure on that 4th base location, and this is a pretty good tank position.
Oh
he
yeah,
needs to make sure he doesn't lose his bio.
Yeah, he has to be a little bit careful because, again, he is oversteaming a little bit. Like, he doesn't have too many medevacs, and the next is going to go down.
Just like so. Tavo, he is forced to go for some kind of a counterattack. That bio was in a little bit of a tricky position, but now the tanks are raining fire on the Gateway Army, raining fire on the Colossus. The rest of the bio reinforcements come in, stim right on top of the Colossus.
Exactly, everything is falling here. There are enough Immortals to focus down every single Colossus. They do fall.
GG, well played. eGGz is going to be taking game number 4, making it to face Pacomike in that grand finals. That Age of Empires. It helped him out. He understood the waves of man, and then he realized, why do I keep losing at Age of Empires? It's because my man does not have gun.
He does not, but he has his gun here in StarCraft, so GG, well played eGGz. He was able to take down his opponent Tavo, and to be fair, I'm honestly really impressed with Tavo, because at the end of the day, when their main races went up against each other, Tavo came out on top, and that was really impressive, but at the end of the day, this is not a tournament about your main races.
No, it is not. It is about becoming el rey de las razas. You need to play every single race here and win with every single race if you want to get that championship and if you want to be winning a series.
Exactly. So it comes down to how not just how you're performing with your main race, but every single other race. And with that, eGGz is able to show his dominance with his Protoss and his Terran alongside his Zerg. And this is kind of the age-old story. There's a bit of a rivalry now going on between these two players. They are some of the best in Latin America, period.
They have gone so back and forth in so many different weeklies. There's that little bit of rivalry. I mean, we were talking a little bit about how Pacomike, he is easily the best PvZ player in all of Latin America. He's, I would say, the best Protoss player right now as well, but his PvZ has always been something else. And eGGz, he's been another one of those there were a lot of weeks where eGGz was another one of those Zerg players that just sort of got crushed under his heel, but there were also a lot of other weeks where eGGz was one of the few Zerg players who could really humiliate Pacomike.
Yeah, exactly. For the majority of 2020, eGGz was the dominant player when it comes to these two. But towards the end, Pacomike has been able to kind of find his stride. And as you were saying, Pacomike is currently the best Protoss player in all of Los Angeles. But is that going to be enough to take out eGGz? And it's another thing, right? Like, this has been a bit of an off season. eGGz has been playing League of Legends. He's been playing Age of Empires. He has been dabbling in other games. Is he back to the form that he once was, like his dominant form in DreamHack Winter? That's the eGGz that we know and love. Is he going to be able to whip that out? More importantly, how are their off races looking against each other?
He'll probably be fine if he's been eating his broccoli. This is a PSA to everybody. Broccoli is healthy.
It is. Why? Why broccoli? What?
I think that was the explanation that Karen gave us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because she was like spamming the broccoli emote or something, and Seal was like, yo, what's up with broccoli? And Karen was just like, broccoli is cool. Broccoli is healthy. Cham eats broccoli.
Yeah.
And he wins.
It's all about the broccoli, so... Oh boy, we'll see how these two shape up against each other. I kind of want to favor Pacomike in the PvZ, but at the end of the day, that's not what it's going to come down
Exactly.
to, you know.
Well, we both saw these players off races, and again, Pacomike, I would say, was the more solid looking player in that game he lost. But then again, eGGz, the game that he lost, he was playing his main race. His Terran is looking. Both of these players' Terran are looking really good. That's what I will say.
For sure.
But if I were to compare Pacomike's Zerg against eGGz's Protoss, I would have to favor Pacomike.
I would as well, but it also depends, because I know eGGz, he likes to be aggressive when he can be, and in a more standard game, I kind of want to favor Pacomike a little bit. But if eGGz is a little bit more aggressive, then like how much practice does Pacomike really have defending early game aggression as Zerg? You know, like it's not. When you, as an off race, it's not something that you have a lot of experiences with, so eGGz could take advantage of that.
Yeah, that is something you really do have to consider. If eGGz just, goes full Jaime on him.
Exactly. Oh boy. As a reminder, the finals is going to be a best of 5 once again. Same format. Both players are going to start off as random, so they can't pick their race. And then from there, they're going to be able to pick their race until they're able to win at least once or win once with each one of them. Oh boy, and we'll see what happens here. Regardless, at least both players will have decent internet. There's no Peruvian here.
Called out. Well, we don't know yet. The uncle mob, they're expanding.
True. They are expanding. They are breeding.
That kind of must be deal.
One day it'll be back. One day.
Family.
Yeah. Oh boy. As at the moment, both the players, they are here. They are just doing their vetoes. It looks like Jagannatha and Submarine have been vetoed.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah. It's a shame we're not seeing Submarine today.
Yeah. Good old Submarino. This is why we always look forward to Mondays, where he is Alasia.
Oh yeah.
We almost have the reverse. We see Submarine in almost every series.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's one of the great things about our ESL Asia casts. Like, the Koreans are not afraid. They embrace the Submarine.
Yeah, they submerge.
That they do. As the vetoes are just being finished up, the map order, I should say, are being finished up at the moment. Darking just hounding the players a little bit to get that, and then we can just get straight into this best of 5. Oh boy.
Man, I straight up do imagine Darking in like the hat. Be like, "Oi! And vivo!" He has like a bandana in his arm or something.
Whipping them into shape.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just getting that sorted out, and once they are done, we can get into this. Again, this is a really nice, refreshing kind of tournament to start off the year. Depending on the reception and whether or not people like this, we may see more iterations of this in the future, like a second edition and a third edition. Each time, Darking is planning to bring in different players, ones that we haven't seen already, so maybe even players like Cham or like Jim Rising and things of that nature.
Oh, what if it was like a King of the Hill style?
Oh, a king! That could be another one.
It's like if you want to play, like let's say you get Terran in your first game, you want to play Terran again, you got to win a game as Zerg and as Protoss if you want to play Terran again.
So, like, in the chat, like, if you're watching and if you want like another kind of like unorthodox rule set for tournaments, Espira are very receptive. They're willing to bring whatever to the table. You know, we've had plenty of FFAs, we've had plenty of 2v2s. We have something like this as well. We've had race only, like nationalistic events, like the Chilean only events. So they're really receptive as it comes to like coming up with something new and something refreshing and something fun as well, not just serious, because we have that with DreamHack. We can have a little bit more leeway with Espira.
Yeah, and if you're worried about not speaking Spanish, don't worry. Just pass them on to me. I'll translate it for the Espira guys.
There you go.
So people are actually gonna do that.
Oh boy, oh boy. You're gonna get all these messages, like not even in English, in Spanish as well. You'll be like, ah, yes.
And yeah, I'll just screenshot them instead of talking. You know who are two participants that could potentially be invited, or maybe not? Yeah, in fact, probably not. I mean, time zones alone. I was just thinking, Cats and Crank, both of them who are known to stream their ladder as random players every now and then.
Yeah, honestly, it'd be fun to bring someone like Cats in because he is like actually actively streaming and playing as other races.
That indeed he is. But in the meanwhile, we are going to be here in the grand finales. Huevos saying no. As we look at what matchup we have right now. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. The Blues player coming down from Mexico. He is representing Alpha X LatAm edition. Can't say Los Angeles because, you know, it has the T-A-M at the end. He is Pacomike.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE. Oh my god, going for a 12 pool with his main race. How could you? It is El Capullo and El Vuelto, representing the land of Colombia as well as Chile on Team Rebirth Esports. It is eGGz.
And you know what they say? You go from the Huevo stage to the Muerto stage to the... No, from the Huevo stage to the whatever we said was Cocoon stage, and then your opponent, they're going to become in the Muerta stage.
Oh, so, okay, what's important is that eGGz did drone scout. So, oh my god.
And he's stuck. He did
Pacomike
just drone scout, like,
he doesn't see it. Pacomike doesn't see it.
right on the edge. This is how you can tell eGGz is a cheeky boy. You know, I said that Pacomike's Zerg was looking really solid, but if eGGz does something aggressive, yeah, this is that aggression that eGGz needed.
Yeah, and now Pacomike sees it with his Overlord. The problem is, you know what Pacomike did? Pacomike went hatch first like a goddamn madman, and this spawning pool is under threat.
It is gonna go down. Only a couple of lings and
wow.
Two queens. They do really well, and Pacomike is able to throw down a spine crawler before the spawning pool goes down, but yeah, we'll see if he has enough time. I mean, the queens is still only halfway done. That spine crawler is even further away. So more and more links start streaming in.
Exactly, and you know what? These are the only links for Pacomike. He doesn't have a spawning pool. He hasn't even attempted to remake the spawning pool. He just doesn't have the resources for it. He's trying his best to try and... Oh, he actually cancels the spine to make a spawning pool. Was it worth it?
That one, right. Yeah, I'm really not sure about that one. Now, Pacomike just doesn't really have much of a backbone when it comes to his defense. I mean, he does have the queens, which is something, but one of them is already super, super low. One swipe at the spine crawler, and it is dead.
Exactly, and the spine is even in range of that hatchery as well, slowly chipping away at it. So Pacomike, he's going to have to be so careful with how he engages and how he deals with it.
Now, I will say, with eGGz's link count getting thinned out, the spine crawler is not that scary of a threat anymore.
Yeah, it should go down. Like, I mean, these lings and queens, they should be enough to surround and deal with this. And yeah, the queens got transfused as well, so they will be able to clean it up.
Yeah, spine crawler does not actually do that much damage against a queen like that. Another nice bit of transfuse just in case, and with that, eGGz. I mean, I'm not convinced that he did enough damage here. He is transitioning out of this. He did get the natural base very, very quickly, so he's not exactly behind. In fact, he has a slight advantage on workers, but I don't know. I feel like he wanted to do a lot more.
I mean, so there are a couple of things that are happening here, and so because the spawning pool was killed earlier, that means that Pacomike was forced, like his speed was forced to be delayed, even though he had faster gas. So I love this. He actually canceled link speed, and he's not going for it. Instead, it's like, okay, it's way too late. It's not worth going for. I'm just gonna go straight into a lair.
Okay. We'll see if he decides to go
God.
straight to Spire or... Well, yeah, no Rotoran is coming out right now, so it's most likely going to be just a straight-up Spire. There is an Evo Chamber, though, so he is still looking to get ground upgrades for his units.
Well, you know what's crazy? Both players are on 2 bases. Both players are getting their lairs and all their gases. We could see Muta versus Muta.
Potentially, I mean... Again, that Evo is there, and it's not being used to wall off.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, there we go. There we go. The wall is being thrown down. Again, both players, there it is. The Spire gets thrown down for Pacomike. Now we're just waiting for the Spire of eGGz.
I said we're waiting. There it is. eGGz was again trying to bust on through here, but unable to do so. We'll be able to contain Pacomike for a little while, but as you said, he's not exactly planning on getting a third base anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably the biggest difference, is that because eGGz has map control with link speed, that does mean that Pacomike had to invest in this wall. Meanwhile, eGGz doesn't even care about a wall. Like, he's like all open, and he's able to get this third base because of it.
And with that, there's just more minerals, more production, more larva. And he's eventually going to get more mutas, but it will be a little bit delayed. There will be a window where Pacomike will be able to fly across the map with his mutas.
Yeah, like the big thing about this is eGGz now has access to more gas. Like, that's the most important part, which would mean he will be able to skyrocket ahead in terms of the muta count. So Pacomike has to do something before the economic advantage of this third base comes into play.
Something like, okay, not quite this. Not quite going for a third base.
Oof.
But 8 mutas, that can definitely do it.
Yeah, 8 mutas are on the way. Again, the Spire of eGGz was a little bit later, but it is done, and we have 6 mutas on the way for eGGz.
That's a lot of spine crawlers and not a lot of anti-air, I gotta tell you, Light.
Yeah, I mean, eGGz, he should be able to deduce what his opponent is going for. Like, he hasn't scouted the gases, he hasn't scouted the Spire, but like, based off the lack of roaches, he should be aware that mutas are on the way.
Yeah, at the very least, sort of nudging him in the back of the head. Should be keeping a couple of mutas at home.
Yeah.
Alright, now Pacomike reveals his hand.
An interesting decision there by Pacomike, because he's like, okay, I'm going to show my hand so I can get my third. Like, he's forced to deal with those lings. In the end, he does get his third up, but it does mean that eGGz is now aware, and immediately he starts the spores.
And again, that's not exactly a late third base, but considering eGGz was able to get his own much quicker, it is not looking good at all for Pacomike. I think I may have honestly been underestimating eGGz a little bit in ZVZ, or potentially overestimating Pacomike.
Yeah, exactly. Like, eGGz, like, he's all about the ZVZ, mate. Like, he plays against Cham and Jim Rising, and we can see already, like, as soon as the third is done, immediately takes the gases. He realizes how important that is in Muta versus Muta. The one thing going for Pacomike is that Pacomike is working on +1 flyer attacks. Meanwhile, eGGz has no upgrades for his mutas on the way.
Exactly, and +1 flyer weapons. If you're just a little bit behind on the muta count, that can absolutely turn tides to your favor. Every single one of these glaives, man. They do get a bit of a benefit. Pacomike trying to stream his way in.
Oh, he tries, but he just runs into a wall of lings and queens. The lings do not make it into the base. Meanwhile, at the same time, Pacomike is trying to find some damage with these mutas.
And he is getting it. He is denying a bunch of these overlords. Getting rid of some supply, getting rid of some of eGGz's map vision, but it's still a pretty up-in-the-air fight for control right now. They get completely sandwiched and get taken out.
Oof. And quickly checking that units tab, there we go. eGGz, he does have a slight advantage. He is up to 20 mutas compared to Pacomike's 16, but +1 flyer attacks is done for Pacomike, so he does have that advantage.
Carapace on the way as well. eGGz, he cannot catch up on mutas fast enough, but you have to argue, does he necessarily need to? I mean, he is also working on getting a bunch of links out. to complement them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what you want. Like, you have your mutas to harass, but you also have your Lings for massive run-bys. Like, if your opponent neglects their own ground army, then Lings can just get into mineral lines and kill everything. eGGz is semi-ready for it because he has a bunch of stacked defense, he has a bunch of spines. Pacomike, he doesn't have any spine whatsoever.
Yeah, invested a lot into the spore crawlers. Kind of anticipating that eGGz would go for a Mastery style, which we know is not exactly true. Oh, wow! Loving the angle that eGGz was able to jump in on. Takes out so many Overlords and quite a number of these drones as well. Pacomike is not really... his upgrade advantage is not really helping it out too much here, nor the Queens.
Ooh, yeah.
Plummet.
Exactly. Oh my god, the word count almost gets reset. Lings were tearing it up as well, getting a number of kills. To be fair, eGGz also lost a lot of drones as that was happening, but what matters is the muta count.
Exactly. Pacomike just lost basically all of his leverage on the map, whereas eGGz, he is not only leveraging, he is... what is the level beyond that? He's using his mind to... I don't know, do something.
Exactly. There's just too many mutas. He's overwhelming everything. All the queens are going to go down to the Lings.
Just like so. GG is called. eGGz going to be taking game number 1 with his main race.
GG. And to be fair, again, that was expected. eGGz with his main race, like that's what he wants to be in, especially in a ZVZ. eGGz, he is so well tested in this matchup, and he's able to take out Pacomike. But now, that means that eGGz can no longer choose Zerg, and Pacomike still has his Protoss available to him if he wants to whip it out.
But here's the thing though, Light. Pacomike cannot play a PvZ anymore.
True, true.
And I would still favor Pacomike's chances if eGGz decided to go Terran or, heaven forbid, Protoss, but... or maybe not Protoss. I mean, we saw how cheeky eGGz was in his series against Tavo.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah, but having your straight up best matchup taken out of the possibilities is a little bit disheartening. But we'll see how Pacomike adapts to that. Meanwhile, eGGz, he already played his best matchup and he won it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, eGGz is already up in this series, but now eGGz has to rely on his off races. And if he is somehow able to take down Pacomike's Protoss with either Terran or Protoss, like, that would be insane.
That it would. But it seems like Pacomike wants to save his best for last, or keeping it as a bit of a silver bullet, as he is picking Terran. eGGz, meanwhile, he's asking for a second opinion.
Yeah, eGGz is still figuring out what race he wants to whip out at the moment, whether it's his Protoss or his Terran. It'll be interesting if we end up in a TVT mirror matchup. I don't know how that would turn out.
Oh boy. I want to give the edge to Pacomike again, but then again, eGGz, he had a very solid showing in his TVP that he played. Macro was very solid, and he definitely proved that he knew how and where to attack.
Mm-hmm.
At least in a TVP. A TVT, that's going to be different, but eGGz going to be playing Espira. En otro chat.
Yep. eGGz is going to be Protoss, and Pacomike has the option to choose his race. If Pacomike goes for Terran, oh boy.
Dijo Terran.
He did, but to be fair, eGGz was supposed to pick his race first, so Pacomike has the option to choose if he wants.
Yeah. Or does he get penalized because he wasn't supposed to pick first and then he did pick first?
He's not gonna get penalized for that.
Darking isn't that mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh,
okay, he does commit to Terran. He does not favor a PvP at all.
Okay, that's fair. So here we go. This is it. Both players are going to be off racing. Pacomike with his Terran, eGGz with his Protoss. And I'm a little bit worried for Pacomike, I'm not going to lie. Like, Protoss can be pretty good.
Definitely can, but I feel like Protoss is it's that kind of race where, in a PvT at least, you really have to. It's where your sort of understanding of things like, unit dynamics will really carry you compared to just straight up like macro or even micro. So we'll see how much research eGGz has been able to internalize, if he understands how to, when should I transition to getting Storm, right? Or when should I go into disruptors? Am I safe to do this, or is there just going to be a multi-prong in my face?
Yeah, that's gonna be the real question.
I feel like that's something you can only really get by experience.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really curious to see how Pacomike is gonna play this out as well, because I do, like, in my mind anyway, I think of him as a bit of more of a passive player. But I don't know if that's what you want here. Like, you want to be a little bit more aggressive, ideally. We'll see.
Imagine he goes turtleneck.
Oh boy. Hopefully not.
Sky toss of Terran. What would Pacomike's Stargate build translate to if what would the equivalent be for Terran?
He'd go
Starport Tech Lab?
Yeah, double Starport, like double BC production is what he would do.
There we go. But except he'd also research medevac boost for some reason.
Yeah, it'd be either double BC production or like Mass Raven, something like that.
Ooh, you're like me with Ravens, but we'll see what he decides to go for here in the top left-hand corner of the map, swatting all the way. In the top left-hand corner, he is the blue Terran player, coming down from the land of Mexico. Gonna be representing I almost said Alpha X Atom Division. No. Alpha X LatAm Division. We have no LLFLs here. Wrong game. We have Pacomike.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the Colombian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, also residing in the land of Chile, representing Rebirth Esports. Up 1-0 in this best of 5, it is eGGz.
Proxy Void, Shellbee.
Oh boy, like eGGz is already being like a little bit aggressive, like chipping away at that worker. Like this is like what I know from
standard.
Yeah, like.
Which is unfortunate. Here's a PSA to every Protoss players out there. Please don't.
Please, no.
Yeah. Please, workers need not fight each other.
Oh god.
See this? This violence could be avoided. It's all in your hands, Probe.
Yeah, and something that's interesting is that eGGz is taking a page out of Tavo's book, and he chronoed out his first Zealot.
Okay, and on Lightshade? Very interesting choice. Now, to be fair, he did manage to get a little bit of a delay on that natural base already, so Zealot might be able to just about snipe that building SCV.
Yeah, especially because he is going around the map and he will be avoiding that Reaper, so the Reaper is going to be across the map. It won't be at home to defend and protect against the Zealot.
I see a bunker.
Uh-oh, no bunker.
That was already a weakened SCV. It's targeting the Marine. Able to take out the Marine and have enough time to take out the SCV. Pacomike pulls away, gets such a good delay here. Nicely done by eGGz.
Oh god, yeah, eGGz, he delays the natural, he kills the Marine, he's chipping away at the wall, forces the Reaper to go back home. He's not even done, mate.
This is a Terran nightmare is what it is right now, Light.
Oh god.
Let me tell you. Oh.
He gets in.
Does manage to get in, and actually the Zealot is very tanky. There's only a single Reaper right now. The surrounding SCVs will definitely help out, but okay, actually only one of them going down.
Only one does go down, but you know what? The Stalker is here, delaying the natural even further.
You know, at a certain point, Pacomike is just gonna snap and say, you know what? Time for me to just mass drop everything.
Oh,
No! Pacomike
Paco!
didn't snap, but his internet did.
No, Paco, please.
Hashtag blame Darking.
Funada, Darking. Oh god, this is not ideal. Paco, come back to us. I know it's looking grim, but it's not over yet. Speaking of grim,
There's lighting in the tunnel.
oh god, there is. I'm there.
Speaking of grim, what is that 0 that eGGz has? Is that in the Spanish alphabet?
It's an egg, mate.
Ah, el muerto.
There you go. Oh god. Okay. So it looks like Paco, he does deal with it. You know what's scary though, and what I'm waiting for? There it is.
There's the Dark Shrine. And Pacomike, he is not a player who builds Dark Shrines.
Oh god, no, he's not. Doesn't even know what to do against it. That's the scary thing, right? Like, he has to be so careful with how he uses his mules.
I can see it so clearly, light.
Oh god.
It's gonna mule hammer.
Ah, okay, one mule has been used. We have the second orbital finishing up right now. There's another mule. Oh god.
No scan energy, no eBay's, no tech lab on that starport. This is looking rough.
Oh, Puppy, please, he just needs to save up for the next mule. Sorry, for the next scan. He just has to save up from here. No more mules, and he'll have enough for a scan.
Okay, well, eGGz kind of revealed his hand a little bit here with these stalkers, so I'm hoping that Pacomike is, he's going to take this kind of seriously, right? He will probably think, all right, there might be an observer if there's a blink out. I'm going to need a scan available. Here's hoping anyway.
Here is hoping that he doesn't use another mule, as he does have energy slowly banking up on both orbitals. And
Yeah,
Dark Shrine is done.
It's 50 energy for an orbital to use either a scan or throw down a mule. We'll see what he goes for here. Pacomike gets a pretty good scout, but I fear it might be too late.
Yeah, we'll see. He is looking to try and drop this Widowmine into the mineral line. Oh. Ooh. Okay.
See, this is why you want to get the armory.
Meanwhile, there's no, he muled! No!
The absolute wrong time to mule!
Okay,
Egg! He
has
just
one.
walks into the main bay. Okay,
He walks in. He has one scan. Okay, he's aware.
Jeez.
Yo, the DTs are dealing a lot of damage, and he only has room for one scan, and he scans in the natural!
Which, arguably the more important one. I mean, that's where most of the army's at, but, all the production. It's in the main base, so Raven only now getting built.
Oh god, the Raven is on the way. Meanwhile, the third CC has been denied, being delayed at the moment by this DT, killing all of these SCVs.
He can chip away the Bioforce.
He can do whatever he wants, mate. He's being a little bit too passive. I think he's a little bit afraid, but mate, there's just no detection whatsoever as the Raven is still in production.
Yeah, I think he doesn't realize how little energy Pacomike actually has on those CCs. Meanwhile, the Stalkers are starting to come in. Blink did finish up a little bit. And the Siege Tanks, they are kind of scary. He does not want to, lose those Stalkers to the Siege Tanks. The Raven is out.
Oh, the Raven.
He is going to be dealt with, but it's also distracting all the Bio.
Exactly. That was a good opportunity to dive in. He blinks on top of the Liberator and the tank.
There's a second tank in the high ground, but that's pretty far off. All of these juicy SCVs. Only 4 Stalkers remaining. So those are some very nice Siege Tank shots, but yeah, they were looking very vulnerable for quite some time. eGGz, he has taken the ball so far to the other side of the court.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's his game to lose at this point.
Oh boy, as eGGz, like he's getting his third race up and running. He is well ahead in terms of the workers. He's working on his tech as well. Immortals on the way. And Pacomike, what does he have? The problem is that he lost his tank earlier. Like, if he wanted to push out, like, it's so much weaker than it would have been.
Absolutely. Only now also getting the Medivacs out. This is, at a certain point, you have to wonder, is just a swarm of gateway units going to be enough to defend? And from what it's looking, yeah, pretty much. I mean, Stim is going to be finishing up pretty soon. Pacomike is going to be looking to probably drop in this position. I don't think he should try to push out with only one tank and no Medivacs, but, or if only a single Medivac. But yeah, it's really tough right now for Pacomike, the situation he's in.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because Charge is about to finish up. Like we were talking about those gateway units, like Charge, like Zealots against Marines with barely any medevacs. Like that's exactly the ideal situation for a Protoss player. He's even working on Templar Archives, so eventually Storm is going to be on the way for eGGz, and he's just looking so dominant here in this game.
You know, he knows the ins and outs of Terran, eGGz does.
Oh boy, yeah, like there's nothing for Pacomike to do. Like I guess he could go for a drop, but he's only got a single medevac, so it's not even going to be that potent. If he loses that medevac, it's going to hurt him in the long run as well.
Yeah, well, you know, risk reward is name of the game right now for Pacomike. As long as he can keep enough of those Marines alive, as long as he doesn't lose that medevac, he should be able to, you know, get a little bit of incremental. The Raven. I thought that was a misclick blink, but apparently it was still enough to take out the Raven. Jesus.
The Raven goes down. It wasn't able to do anything, only really used for its detection. Meanwhile, there is this drop over to the third base location, but the Zealots are here to meet it.
Yeah, and already 2 Marines being taken out from that drop. Again, this is the most precious resource that he has available to him. You can scan across the map to confirm a base.
Yeah, he confirms that it's not there, but it's about to be, as eGGz is getting his 4th base up and running. Meanwhile, there is this drop. It is still alive, so eGGz does have to worry about that. He has that in the back of his mind. But Pacomike, he has to do something more here. He needs more medevacs. He needs to drop more even. The problem is that if he does siege up, like, eGGz has eyes on it.
I guess he could try to mule up and, you know, just try to turtle to a point where eGGz is going to be looking to... and just try to defend against eGGz's timing. But I mean, so far it seems like eGGz, he is content to just hang back, get all his tech, get his upgrades. The drop has been taken out, like the drop.
Yeah. Oh boy. I mean, at least the medevac stayed alive. You know, Pacomike has that going for him, so it is able to reunite with the rest of the army. And Pacomike does have a decent amount of Marines here, at least. He does have stim and combat shield, so he can clean up this proxy.
Yeah. A little bit late, as I think eGGz has just gotten everything he wanted out of that. You know, he got his upgrades from the Twilight Council. He's not going to be making DTs anymore for a while, even sending a run by, because he knows that the Bioforce is going to be to the north.
Yeah, just confirming to see if there's a third base here. If there was, and it would be under threat by the Zealots. And Storm is done. Storm is complete. That's a lot of High Templar. I think eGGz is getting to the point where he's feeling confident enough to push out, not just with these Storms, but also with these Immortals.
Absolutely. Does still have to be a little bit careful. There are some pretty decent tank placements over here. Oh, yeah. And Stalkers, they are very fragile to siege up tanks. But again, it's not the main worry for Pacomike. It's also going to be the charge that send these storms.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's going to be about. Meanwhile, Pacomike is going for a bit of a drop, and it does get spotted by the pylon.
Oh, but was there in the main base light?
Oh, nothing whatsoever. And Pacomike, he's actually dropping to the north as well.
This is the multi-prong that Pacomike absolutely needed. This should get about cleaned up, but eGGz, he's still looking to lose quite a number of probes. Meanwhile, the run-bys do come in.
Yeah,
trying to get damage done.
There's chaos all over the place. We got drops here on the right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, the War Prism does get into the main of Pacomike, so they're both going to take some losses. But in the end, oh my god, Pacomike, he's coming out worse for wear when it comes to the workers.
Man, that was such a good move for Pacomike to move into his multi-prong, but eGGz, on top of just about everything, he kept that charged force in the middle of the map to wait for this opportunity. He had his War Prism ready to warp into the main base, and yeah, he just pulled out a reverse Uno card.
Pretty much. Like,
hello, Marines.
Oh, no. Somehow the War Prism was able to escape as well. Pacomike, unfortunately, the Marines, that were just out of range. They could have moved like a couple of steps forward and they would have been able to take it out, but unfortunate. And now eGGz, as you were saying, he defended his main base, he defended his third, he counterattacked, and now he's ready to push out with his main army.
He was waiting for that attack from Pacomike this entire game. This has been his entire MO. Just wait for the attack and go for the counter.
Yeah, and it's happening again. Like, we have a bit of a Zealot run by into the natural. We have a War Prism going into the main base, and the main army finds all these tanks exposed.
So many Archons, so many charge hits. The army completely split apart right now for Pacomike. Storm's gonna be the final nail in the coffin. GG is called. eGGz already on match point.
eGGz, proving to us all that Pacomike's off races, they're just not up to snuff, not compared to eGGz, as eGGz is able to take a game with Protoss, and now the only thing left for him is his Terran.
Which again, we saw how solid his Terran was. It was in the Masters League, or at least he had a Masters border, and he annihilated Tavo playing his who was playing Protoss. If Pacomike was watching that game, either he was thinking, wow, I know exactly how to counter this, or he was thinking, oh god, what do I do? He's so solid.
Yeah, exactly. Like, now we've gone to the stage where, because eGGz is on match point and he only has one race left, because Paco hasn't won a single game yet, the world is his oyster. He can choose whatever he wants to go up against eGGz's Terran. And oh my god.
Is really?
What?
You have the opportunity to play a main race, and really, Pacomike, I imagine he has something planned here.
I don't know what to say. Like, Pacomike is confident.
What the map order was? He is very confident.
Like, as you said, Pacomike has the option for his main race. He's opting not to go for it. He is choosing or picking what race he wants on whatever map he wants, and he has decided that Terran is his choice on Romanticide.
I mean, it's a pretty good tank map, but in a TVT, that goes both ways.
The thing is that this is really risky because of this choice, like, Paco could come out of this like 3-0'd, you know? Like, he's like Zerg, but regardless, like, it's not Protoss is the thing.
It's exactly. And I mean, this is the amount of balls that Pacomike has right now. Not only is eGGz just really solid in this Terran, he's main race is Zerg. He absolutely knows what he normally wants to do in a ZVT, and now he just needs to sort of flip that around.
Exactly. This is I don't know what to expect. I don't know what he has planned here, but I can't wait to see.
Nor can I, as we spot in to Romanticide, LE. LE, of course, standing for Lovers. Eggs, Lovers Eggs. That's what I'm gonna go for in honor of the series. Here in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, the Blue Zerg player. He has not won a map so far. Ooh, going for the extract trick. He has not won a map so far in the series, but now he really needs to start turning things around, get that reverse sweep. Can he do it on another one of his off races? Representing Alpha X and Mexico, we have Pacomike.
Oh my god, it's spawning in the top left. Hands corner of Romanticide, LE. He's on match point. He's up 2-0 in this best of 5. And he's risking it here. With the Proxy 2 racks. It is the Colombian player, typically Zerg, now Terran, representing Rebirth Esports. It is El Huevo, El Capullo, eGGz.
Okay, I'm not sure why eGGz decided to go for the proxy racks, but here's what I have to say about it. It's actually a really good move, because Pacomike, his main race isn't Zerg. He doesn't know exactly. He doesn't know where the proxy locations are. It hasn't been hammered into his head, right, that he needs to send his overlords to those proxy locations to make sure that your opponent's not proxying. If this was an intentional move, I want to say that this was something that eGGz was like, all right, I'm going to think of all of the psychology of like what the race is going to be like, and I'm going to go for bunker here. But in reality, it could just be eGGz saying, I don't favor my chances in a macro TVC. I'm just going to proxy.
Well, the thing is, eGGz can do whatever he wants, right? It's Pacomike who made the risk by not playing Protoss. That's why it was crazy. And the problem is that Pacomike went hatch gas pool. So his pool is incredibly late. Like, the bunker is going to finish up. He didn't scout the proxy whatsoever. Now he's aware, but is it too late? Like, eGGz, so far everything has gone his way. Can he close it out here? Can he make it a 3-0?
Only bunker slight.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. I mean, that's all I really have to say here. Have a little bit of a dance of lings, but yeah, eGGz is going to be the one winning that. Pacomike trying to risk it by going for a straight Roach Warren.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, Ravages with the Corrosive Biles, they are very effective against bunkers, but how long is that going to take? How expensive and gas intensive are Ravages going to be?
Well, I like that he's going for this because he did go for a hatch gas pool, so his gases were relatively early, even compared to his pool. So he's skipping link speed, and he's doing something with this gas. So he's going straight into roaches, and we already have 3 on the way. We'll see how much damage gets done before that happens, though, because eggs, like the hatchery, is going to go down. Is he going to be able to take out a couple of queens in the process as well?
Yeah, and he's just continuing to build more and more Marines out. Now, even if he doesn't deal the death blow, even if he just contains Pacomike on a single base, this is going to be really good for eggs. He's already playing his transition. Okay, he doesn't have a second base out yet, but he's already working on his factory. He's already working on, you know, that next step of tech.
Yeah, exactly. The factory's done. Starport is on the way. Okay, eggs does confirm that it is Roach Ravager, and Pacomike is risking everything right now. He is going into a lair. Like, he's going for a Nidus, like, or Drop a Lord. Like, he's going for something to bust out of this, going completely all in. So, like, it's all or nothing for both players.
But you know what? I do like Nidus' decision. There is nothing at home right now for eggs. We'll see if that changes. Okay, yes, getting a tank on the way, but we'll see where he decides to actually rally that tank. Okay, back at home. He's not that much of a madman.
Exactly. Right now he's just focusing on containing, and this is good for Pacomike because that means that all this army is here across the map. It means that if he does go for a Nidus, like, eggs isn't going to have that much at home to defend. But he's on a timer because the production is going home.
Yeah, he really needs to get some vision on those dark sides of his maps. Looking a little bit rough here on this bunker. And it will go down, but there are 2 more to follow that back up on. Not in range of the hatchery, though. So Pacomike finally going to be able to grab his natural base.
Yeah, and an interesting decision here by Pacomike. He's expanding. Even though he got a very fast lair, he hasn't done anything with it yet. There is no Nidus. There is nothing whatsoever. So I guess maybe he was planning to go for something, but so far he's decided to change his mind.
Yeah, well, we'll see if that helps him out here. Oh, the rally. That's a little unfortunate. Those Marines finally going down, but you know what? They've done their service. They did what they needed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Such a contain. That Overlord, though.
That Overlord, it's not going to be able to get... Yeah, it gets taken out. There is an Overlord over to the right-hand side. What's scary is that the Fusion Core has finished up. We do have a Banshee coming out first, which is interesting. I'm surprised that a BC isn't coming out for eggs. I don't know if that's a misclick, but okay.
He knows the counterattack is coming.
Yeah, exactly. He knows that he needs units like ASAP to defend at home.
And even pulling all the boys just in time. Every single Corrosive Bile got shot over there.
Oh yeah.
So he is going to be on a cooldown. And yeah, now the Banshee is out.
Yeah, and that
eggs with a very good defensive setup, but again, he's only on a single base.
And this Banshee is going to be able to clean up or push away these Ravagers. What's interesting is that Pacomike is expanding, and we now see what the purpose behind the lair was. He's going for a Spire.
All right, that's something to help out against BC.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he still doesn't know that a BC is on the way, but so far, so good, right? Like, the Spire is about to finish up, which means the initial flyer units for Pacomike should be out in time for the BC.
Yeah. And I mean, even Mutas, if you can get enough of them, which he does have a bit of a head start on, can be effective against BCs. Eggs only now getting his natural base up.
Yeah, that is so late. Like, even though eggs contain his opponent for so long, like, his natural expansion, it's so delayed, where Pacomike is actually okay, right? Like, again, like, economically, like, he's catching up. He's actually ahead. He's gonna get further ahead, especially if this BC doesn't do anything.
Which he's hoping to get something done. The Mutalisks do fly away. Only 3 queens here. And 3 mutas.
Yeah, and
very good at there. Oh, the Spire! Being attacked by the queens. Not what you want to happen. This one Banshee putting in so much work.
Yeah, the third base is at less than half health. Okay, the mutas are looking to go and deal with it. That could prompt eggs to go in with his BC, and he is slowly chipping away at whatever units are here. But again, Pacomike, these mutas are going to clean everything up.
Yeah, or at least I'm going to try to. Pacomike doesn't want to tangle with that BC with that low of a Muta count.
Yeah. Like if the BC fights the mutas with the queens to support, then the queens can of course transfuse as well and add their anti-air. The Muta count is getting higher and higher, and now he decides to pounce.
Like so. And he does also have a couple of queens here to help in case, just if the BC decides to go a little bit too far forward. Teleport is almost off cooldown!
Ooh.
Will not get to be used.
Will not. And now eGGz, like his transition from that proxy has been completely shut down. The Banshee didn't do much, the BC didn't do much either, and now he's forced to be on the back foot. He's forced to be defensive here.
Pacomike is in an amazing position right now, and on top of that, eGGz is going mech, which is very expensive. It takes quite a while to really build into. He really has to turtle up against Pacomike's harass before he's able to, even get a third base, I would say. He has no map presence.
Exactly. Like, because of Pacomike's mutas, as you were saying, it's going to be so difficult for eGGz to break out and expand. To be fair, he is focusing on these cyclones, and that's going to help so much here. Able to snipe one muta, almost a second.
Like so.
Oh boy, and he's actually making more BCs. He's going Cyclone BC.
Alright, it's been a while since I've seen this.
Oh boy, yeah. We even have, there we go, we have some upgrades on the way as well. The mutas though, they can find an opportunity here to find some damage.
Or get killed by Cyclones. Ooh. That is the advantage that Cyclones do have, is that lock-on. Very nice scan going down from eGGz, and yeah, Pacomike losing quite a number of mutas.
Oh yeah.
6 of them.
Yeah, and he's actually remaking them. Oh my god, he droned up heavily. He's almost up to 80 workers.
Whoa. Well, he's kind of free to do this. He knows that eGGz is going for a much slower style of Terran that really cannot keep him down from expanding. He has no way to really punish Pacomike's greed.
Exactly, like, because he's investing everything into these cyclones, not so much into the Hellions. There isn't really a force that can go out across the map, so Pacomike is using this to his advantage. He's expanding freely. He's going to get his economy up and running and then kind of boom out of control as the game progresses.
Looks back on home. This harass is not getting too much done here. I gotta tell you, Light, I thought we were gonna get a bit of a short one.
I thought so as well. Because of the way eGGz is playing, like, this game could be elongated quite a bit, especially because we're on Romanticide. He's turtling up heavily. If Pacomike can't break him, then eGGz is gonna max out, and we could be in for quite a long one. Yeah, which is not a good thing. We were so close. Like, this, as much as I love Pacomike, this could have been a 3-0, and then things would have lined up nicely with Yaku and how long he can stay with us. But that may not be the case, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
A little bit of time here. I'll have to be a couple minutes late.
All good. Oh boy, and we'll see what transpires here as the game is slowing down. Again, eGGz is full on Tortuga at the moment, just hiding in his shell, got plenty of missile turrets, just getting more tanks, more cyclones.
And yeah, it'll be a little while before he makes any moves across the map. He is going for Blue Flame, but he's gonna prompt him to start getting more and more Hellions out, trying to get some harassment done. And these videos putting in so much damage.
Oh yeah, like surprising amounts. Like, Pacomike has been able to slip in, and despite the ring of missile turrets all over the place, he was able to get some damage done. But now eGGz is finding an opportunity to push out across the map. I say that, but he runs into Roach Ravager and just gets pushed away.
That is not what you want to deal with. I mean, Cyclones are generally ideal against Roach Ravager, but funnily enough, the reverse is also correct.
Yeah, pretty much. As the BC is dealing some damage, he does have teleport available to him, so he should be able to escape. Should we say? It's close. Does not. Oh boy, the BC goes down, and you know what? Pacomike, he's maxed out.
And he is looking to end this.
Yeah, exactly. He's looking to fight back here as he's going to be able to catch quite a number of these Cyclones with these Lings. So nice catch there. But the real question is, can Pacomike break this defensive position of eGGz?
Not looking likely from where I'm standing.
Right, like there's turrets all over the place, there are tanks all over the place as well. You could argue that there's not a lot of buffer for the tanks, so maybe Pacomike can like brute force his way forward and get on top of the exposed tanks. That's a big if though, and that will be a costly engagement.
Yeah, I mean, he is still building up his bank. He's not quite at not quite at the moment in the game where he can start to throw away his supply inefficiently and then just remax yet. But he is getting there.
Yeah, slowly but surely, he is getting there.
As he just, continues to get more attack paths opening up. You're just trying to harass, but these Cyclones, you never want to underestimate them. Especially not when they have their Maglev upgrade.
Yeah, definitely. To be fair, like, at the end of the day, Pacomike wants to throw away these mutas. Like, they've served their purpose, they've gotten their value, and now, like, they're kind of, dead supply at the moment. As we do see Pacomike is trying to delay this fourth base. Oh, so close to going down.
Yeah, those mutas were on it for a little bit more. If those Cyclones weren't there, that would have made the entire difference.
Yeah, it definitely would have. Meanwhile, the BC just keeps being sent out to harass across the map. Looks like the mutas are finally going to be cleaned up. But again, mutas, they're not the big concern here for Pacomike as he is transitioning into Corruptors.
Indeed, he is finally something that can really go toe-to-toe against these BCs. And I don't see... Okay, their Hive was gone, but I don't think we have a Great Aspire just yet.
Yeah, not quite, as I quickly look around, and yeah, it looks like there is no Crater Spire, just a regular one at the moment. So far, no Broodlords.
Yeah, and that would really be the nail in the coffin, so to speak, for eGGz. But so far, slowly, he's been able to, build up his army. Getting back in there.
Yeah, he's harassing a little bit as well. There are Hellions diving into a couple of mineral lines to the north. Looks like they're trying to slip on into the south as well. Again, like, eGGz is just keeping Pacomike busy. The scary thing is that eGGz has been able to establish his fourth. This is something that arguably should have never happened. But somehow eGGz was able to break out and get this base up and running. And with this boosted economy, and this rich Vespian gas, he's going to be able to max out if given the time.
The economy has just been completely tug-of-war so far. Pacomike trying to do that, Zerk thing where you try to send every single Baneling into a planetary to try to take it out, but there are so many tanks here. It's getting completely denied.
Oh god, that's a lot of supply just evaporated in an instant.
And Pacomike does remax, but man, that is okay. I know trading inefficiently is kind of the name of the game for Zerg at this point, but the key word there is trade.
Yeah.
That was just a donation to Banelings.
It was a donation to the egg fund right there. Oh god, and again, he's trying to find an avenue here, but the Corruptors are getting caught out by the Thors. He's got a decent amount of Roach Ravager. He's trying to remake the Ravager, I should say. But eGGz, he's gonna get to the point where he's gonna push out, and no longer be that turtling Terran.
How many supplies even now? No Broodlords are out. A lot of Banelings do go down. This is such a massive tank line. But it looks like Pacomike is breaking on through. More tanks in the back though. And Pacomike does lose the majority of his army.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, a bunch of the Corruptors are being chipped away at as well. Pacomike, it feels like he's not too sure what he wants. He's switching into Swarm Host from here, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but is it too late? As 9 are coming out, you kind of need a critical amount of Swarm Host to really overwhelm this. We'll see if it works out for him.
We shall see.
Yeah, part of me wishes that there it is. Greater Spire is on the way now. Greater Spire would have been nice earlier to utilize these Corruptors. Yeah,
but arguably, is it too late right now? And you gotta remember, Broodlords, they also require a couple of what's it called? They also require some supply.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, I'm so relieved. And Metal Elector just came in and was like, we're gonna be a little late today.
Oh, nice. All good, all good. Take your time, lecturer. We got some StarCraft going on right now. We got Razas. Do you not understand? It's the finals. And again, Pacomike, he rolled the dice, not picking Protoss. Can he make something happen here? The Locusts are coming in.
And that was a lot of battles. Those Thors are just eating to the face. But the backbone of eGGz's army, these tanks are still alive and running. Greater Spire is finishing up, but Pacomike can't make any Brewlords.
Oh, he cannot, but you know what he can do? He can unburrow on top of the tanks. He can go for this bit of surprise move, like a Hail Mary play. He's going for it.
The poor man's Brewlord, if you will. And if you're used to playing Terran, well, I guess eGGz may or may not know the what the bar roaches kind of look like.
Oh, he goes for it.
And a lot of tanks, they do fall to the friendly fire.
Oh, but it wasn't worth it. Like, again, normally you want to, like, line that up with, like, a big surround. And Pacomike may be a little bit premature there. He is maxed out, but there it is. We know why. It's the Broodlords. They're on the way, but they take some time.
That they do, and in this time, eGGz, he's already setting up a pretty good... No, the Thors are getting a little bit stuck here.
Oh, God.
The Thors are already kind of in position to...
No!
Get to Broodlords. No!
Oh, my...
Token Swarm Hosts.
Exactly, the Swarm Hosts, they were just donated once again into the meching army. Okay, the Broodlords are coming in, and you know what?
A lot of Thors were taken out.
Yeah, and the Thors that are remaining are kind of stuck, like they can't like waddle their way over, so these Broodlords are getting a lot of damage done.
So many tanks are starting to go down, and finally, Pacomike is repaying the favor to eGGz in that donation. Beautiful Blinding Cloud. Anti-air immediately taken out. What happened to those Cyclones?
Mate, they went down a long time ago. I don't know what happened to the Cyclones, but they're dead, mate. And now there's nothing but tanks. To be fair, eGGz does deal some nice damage, but you know what? All these tanks are going down. Nothing shoots up.
This is just a straight up complete encirclement. This is the vast majority of eGGz's forces.
Oh boy.
And like that, Pacomike, he has the initiative. He is over double the army supply and much more to come.
Yeah, and eGGz, like, that was all he had, like, especially when it comes to a meching Terran player, like, it takes so much longer to remax, and eGGz, he's been stuck on 4 bases, like, everything has slowly been mined out, so now that was the brunt of his army. He's got less than half the supply of Pacomike.
And with that, I do not expect eGGz to be long for this world.
Yeah.
Pacomike, I guess he made the right choice, not picking his main race.
Honestly, it was kind of dicey, not gonna lie.
It was very nice.
It was a very ballsy play, but Pacomike, he's got plenty of them, and as he is able to showcase his Zerg here today, there were some questionable moves, like he was just donating Swarm Hosts left and right. The Hail Mary play was his Broodlords, but in the end it paid off, and it looks like he's going to be able to dominate his opponent here and finally put a point on the board.
And with that, we do not get the 3-0.
Not at all.
Genius called. Pacomike starting to turn the series around. And speaking of turning around, I do have to leave you.
It's all good. Thank you so much for joining me for the majority of the broadcast today, Yaku. I really appreciate it. It's a shame that you're not going to be able to be here for the entirety of it, but of course you do have your studies and your classes to go to, so thanks for joining me.
She just started talking, that lecturer did. Oh, alright, made it right on time. Yeah, good luck to our players. Hopefully be able to catch that VOD of that. It's going to be very hype, and yeah, I will be seeing you. Bye.
Ciao. Thank you so much, Yaku, as Yaku does hop over to his Zoom call. So for those wondering, this semester, the beginning of 2021, Yaku used to have classes in the morning. Now he has classes in the afternoon, and they have just started up for him. So I really appreciate Yaku joining me, and now I'm gonna have to get through this on my own. Oh boy. F's in the chats. Also, I did see it earlier. Thank you so much, G5, for the Kuro, please. Unfortunately, Kuro is asleep at the moment. It is currently 5 a.m. in the land of Poland, so she is not here to cast. So we'll make sure that the next time you pop up in the chat, we'll have Kuro cast and redeem that for you, G5. Oh boy, as we are getting ready for the next match, congratulations again, Pacomike, able to put a point on the board, and now that means, okay, he wins the game with Zerg, now he has Protoss and Terran left. That is all he has remaining to him, and what a madman. What a madman. Paco has actually opted once again not to pick his main race. He is saving that for the ace match. He is going to be playing Terran in this TVT. Oh boy. Of course, Yaku isn't here for the TVT, our Duckling Terran expert. God damn it, Yaku. Give me strength for this TVT. I don't know what to expect. Honestly, I'm a little bit concerned. I'm concerned because eGGz played mech last time. Hopefully he doesn't play mech again. Oh god, please don't let it happen. And we'll see if he does, as spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have El Capullo, El Vuelto. He is up 2-1 in this best of 5 grand finals. He is so close to being El Rey de las Razas. He is El Colombiano, El Chileno, representing the new team, Rebirth Esports. It is eGGz. And aquí tenemos, here we have in the top right hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the Mexican, now Terran player. We'll see if he's been able to learn from his compadre Special. He is representing Team Alpha X, now Terran, normally Protoss. It is Pacomike. El Paquito himself. Already fighting back, putting a point on the board as Zerg, and again, risking it all. Making sure Protoss is left for last. The best saved for last, I should say, for Paco. And he's whipping out his Terran in this TVT. And once again, I don't know what to expect. So for the people just tuning in, this is the format of this tournament, Rey de las Razas. It means that every player has to win one game with each race in this best of 5. eGGz has already won with his Protoss and his Zerg, which is why eGGz has nothing but Terran left. Every single game remaining in this series will be Terran for eGGz. Meanwhile, Pacomike, he still has to win with Terran and Protoss, and he opted to go with Terran here on Pillars of Gold. He wanted that TVT on this map. And we'll see how this goes. We did see a TVT earlier today. I believe Tavo played against eGGz in a TVT, question mark? Or maybe it was Pacomike versus Shellbee. No, yeah, sorry. It was, sorry. Pacomike versus Shellbee. It was the very first game of the night. It was a TVT and Pacomike fell to the Terran of Shellbee. To be fair, Shellbee's main race is Terran, so Shellbee was favored there. And I would say that Shellbee's Terran is better than eGGz's Terran, so I don't know where to place these two. Like, are their Terrans relative to each other? Like, are they around the same skill level? It's hard to say. We're gonna find out. We're gonna see how much these players have been practicing for this event, especially since, for those wondering, this event was originally scheduled for December last year, but because of all the lobby bugs, because of all the server issues, it was delayed, it was postponed for an entire month, and now we finally have it. So that does mean that these players have had an extended period of time to prepare for this tournament and to play their off races. And I know that Pacomike, for the most part, he does commit a lot of his time to StarCraft, so I know he's been preparing for it. I know eGGz has also been, you know, off racing as well on stream, so we'll see how these two Latin American titans clash here, as Pacomike is on, like, he's on match point, like, one more loss and Pacomike is out. And I'm surprised, eGGz, this game, he didn't start with a proxy. He is playing this a little bit more standard, as opposed to the last game where he proxied 2 racks. He kind of rolled the dice. Already, Pacomike's Reaper goes down. On the other side, so does eGGz, but eGGz does take out 2 SCVs, so he did come out a little bit ahead there. In the end, both players did lose their Reapers, And we do see that eGGz is opening up here with a bit of a 1-1-1, starting off with that Raven, which this is pretty standard so far. This is some pretty standard Terran play. We see Ravens incorporated quite a bit in the early game in TVT. It's so useful, especially when it comes to interference matrixing the tanks. So you can kind of utilize them to disable the tanks, and then you push on forward and you catch your opponent off guard. Meanwhile, Pacomike, he's a little bit delayed in that respect because he is not going for a Raven, mate. We got a Fusion Core on the way, and he's going for a Ninja Base. What? What is happening? Did it get scouted? It didn't get scouted. I'm like, what is Pacomike doing? Okay, so he went for the 1-1-1. So eGGz, like if you scout this looks pretty normal. And eGGz for the most part did. He saw the factory and the racks. Like this looks pretty standard at the moment. But of course the Fusion Core is hidden in the back, and we have the Ninja Base. So Pacomike isn't just risking it by playing Terran, he's all over the place. He's just rolling all the dice possible, and he's used to it. He's used to flipping coins. He plays Protoss. Like Pacomike does it on a regular basis with his main race. So here he is doing it again against eGGz. But is it gonna work out? Because eGGz is going for this standard push. He's got his Raven, he's got tanks joining up, he's like sending everything across the map. And the problem is that Pacomike, where's his army? He has no tank. He has a single Cyclone. He's got a tank on the way. He invested his money in a Fusion Core and a CC. Like, that's where his money is. Meanwhile, eGGz invested in his army. Like, eGGz actually has a decent army, and he's gonna slowly push forward. He scans. He should see that there's no tank. There's nothing to stop him. Oh god, but you know what? He was tentative enough, so he gave Pacomike enough time to get a tank out. But you know what? There's only one tank, and the interference matrix is available, so eGGz can just push on forward. He even has 2 Ravens, Jesus Christ! And meanwhile, behind this, eGGz is getting a 3rd base up and running. He's continuing to rally across the map. eGGz, if he wants to, there's nothing stopping him from pushing on forward, like disabling the tank and just ending the game. But I don't know what he's seeing that he's not going for it. Okay, here we go. Oh, just like that, disables the tank, throws down an auto turret, sieges up his tanks, and there's nothing here to stop him. The BC is about to pop out though, and maybe the BC is going to turn the tide, but is it going to be enough? Everything is pulled off the line. There's no mining whatsoever in the natural. The BC does come out, but there are plenty of Marines here to protect the tank, and the Marines, they're getting on top of it. Is the BC enough? Is this going to be the play that makes Pacomike take this game? Oh my god, no, it's not. The BC, it's down to half health, but it's enough. It's enough. Like, there aren't enough Marines. Bearing in mind, there is no stim with this army. There are no upgrades whatsoever. So these Marines are pretty fragile. Like, they're not that useful when it comes to the damage that they can deal. And the BC is, in fact, enough to defend. Oh my god. Not just that. Like, what, 6 SCVs went down? Like, barely any. Pacomike, okay, he needs to go back home. But you know what? He's got triple orbitals. He's muling heavily. Like, he barely lost anything in that attack. Okay, so eGGz is getting some more damage done. This is actually pretty significant. At the same time, the BC teleports across the map, but it's gonna go down. Oh, god. So, a bit of a shame there. Pacomike, he loses the BC, but he was able to defend at home, which is the most important part. Sure, Pacomike lost some SCVs, but when you have triple CC production, it doesn't even matter. You've got plenty of mules, you've got plenty of you know, SCVs being pumped out. So, Pacomike is in a pretty good spot, and eGGz is not aware of it. eGGz, for all eGGz knows, Pacomike is on 2 bases. Like he isn't aware of the situation he's in. He scans again. What's scary is that still Pacomike is lacking with his army. He's making another BC. Losing that BC earlier was a huge blow. Like, that was the crux, the backbone of Pacomike's army. And with that gone, there is another opportunity for eGGz to just continue to rally across the map and just plow into Pacomike's natural. The thing is that if Pacomike is somehow able to defend again, then he's going to be in a great position because of his 3rd. Oh my god, and he sends his BC across the map. I don't know if this is the right move. That means that he doesn't have it at home to defend. He doesn't have his teleport available to him, and now eGGz is going in once again, and now the disable goes down, the tank goes down, there's barely anything. There's a single tank on the high ground, and Pacomike, that BC that saved him earlier, is across the map. Another BC does come out. This time, is there enough? Oh, he teleports back home. Oh, now with 2 BCs and tanks, it looks like there's not enough Marines. Once again, there's not enough anti-air, so Pacomike is able to defend. He's able to push eGGz away, immediately teleports across the map to deal whatever damage he can. Is this enough, though? That's what I'm wondering. Wait, did he just... Did he not teleport? I think he teleported on top of himself. A bit of a misclick. But Pacomike, he defends. He loses his natural though, which is rough. His 4th CC is going to be forced to land over at his natural, so he's not in the worst position economically, but the thing is, every single time eGGz is pushing out across the map, he's dealing damage. He's not ending the game, but he is kind of keeping Pacomike down enough where things are still kind of even. I say even especially because eGGz doesn't have a lot of mining here at the 3rd base. He has a lot of mule energy banked up as well. Meanwhile, Pacomike has been on point with his mules, so his economy is still a little bit better. Oh my god, but there is some harassment going on as well. And I'm surprised. I want to commend Pacomike here. He is committing to the BC production. We have 3 BCs out now. We have a 4th B. We have double Starport Tech Lab production. Jesus Christ. He's committing heavily to the mass BC. And we'll see if eGGz is able to contend with it. eGGz, this entire time, has slowly been banking up this Viking count. And Vikings, they're what you want against BCs. Quickly checking the upgrades. Now 1-1 is done, Stim is done, so now these Marines are going to be that much more potent against the BCs of Pacomike. So earlier, Pacomike was able to abuse the fact that eGGz barely had any anti-air. Now eGGz has plenty of anti-air. So these BCs, they've kind of like lost their value over time, kind of like diminishing returns at the moment. He does have Yamato, so some nice Yamatos. He does blink away, but he lost the BC. Like, that's a heavy loss, especially when you're meant to be backing up BCs to the point where you overwhelm your opponents. Losing a BC like that did hurt. Now, once again, eGGz is pushing out across the map. This 4th is vulnerable. To be fair, eGGz doesn't know it's a 4th. They are on equal bases, and eGGz is not aware of that. Pacomike is actually ahead in SCVs, but again, it's going to come down to the army. As eGGz is stimming forward. Important to note, eGGz doesn't have a lot of medevacs, so each stim does hurt his Marines that much more, but he's overwhelming the BCs here. He's getting on top of the tanks. 1 BC does fall, another BC falls. Only 2 BCs remaining here. Oh, but this defensive position, the tanks, the majority of the Marines have died. And once again, somehow, like, Pacomike is defending. Like, eGGz just, every single time, eGGz just barely doesn't have enough. And now the planetary is finishing up. I'll be surprised if Pacomike can hold on to this 4th base. We'll see. I mean, he's coming out. Oh, the Yamatos are coming out as well. A bunch of Vikings are dying, but there are only 3 BCs, so it looks like there are just barely enough Vikings. The problem is that Pacomike, he's not fighting with his tanks. Because of that, the Marines are joining the fray as well, and there are enough Vikings to contend with the BCs of Pacomike. He just keeps losing them a little bit needlessly. Like, honestly, there's no reason for Pacomike to fight here. He does back off. Again, Pacomike loses the 4th base. I think we all knew that the 4th base was going to fall. And Pacomike, he lost, what, 2, maybe 3 BCs in that defense? Like, again, he didn't need to commit there. He needs to engage with everything that he has, with these tanks to support. Pure BCs are just not cutting it for Pacomike. And eGGz, like, he's slowly chipping away. Like, it's not efficient by any means. Like, eGGz is struggling here, but it's just barely enough. And another tank falls. And he's slowly pushing on forward. To be fair, the Viking count is actually getting thinned out. There are barely any Vikings left, so we could end up in a stage once again where Pacomike is able to defend. There it is, another Yamato. eGGz is being forced back. The Yamatos are getting a lot of value, and I love this. Pacomike, he gives up on taking a regular 4th base. He's like, you know what? I'm done with this. He's taking another ninja. This is great. Like, eGGz is not looking at this section of the map at all. So if you're a player like Pacomike and you're struggling to expand, just get another ninja base, mate. That's all you need. Oh, that was a kill though, not a cancel on the 4th base of Pacomike. The BCs are under threat once again by these Marines, but there are tanks defending. Meanwhile, all the tanks in the center of the map were just cleaned up by the BCs. They were chased down, so eGGz loses quite a bit. Oh no, but you know what? eGGz is being forced into this corner, and the ninja's gonna be revealed. Like, unintentionally, like, Pacomike is corralling eGGz into the corner, and now eGGz is aware. The jig is up. eGGz knows what's been happening this entire game. He finds the ninja base. He doesn't just find it. With all these Marines, he's going to be able to deal a lot of damage and just shut it down. Oh boy, just like that, 17 SCVs go down. Not just that, but the bases have been revealed. Not just that corner base, okay, never mind, just the corner base, not the other base so far. So now eGGz is aware of that, now he can focus his attacks there. And the thing is that if he decides to attack this top left-hand side of the map, there aren't any tanks in position to defend. Like, they're all here in the main base, so it's going to be difficult for Pacomike to really hold on to those bases. Oh boy, to be fair, eGGz is bleeding out a lot. eGGz is trying to accomplish a lot with these Marines, you know, attacking all over the place, but he's just trading so inefficiently, losing them left and right. Oh my god, but with these tanks and with these Vikings, more BCs are going down. They are forced to teleport away, and I would have given this to Pacomike, but because he lost so many SCVs, because now these bases have been found out, like, eGGz is looking really strong here in this TVT. He has plenty of Vikings to deal with the BCs. He's got even Thors to support. Sure, he doesn't have a lot of tanks, and the majority of the tanks have been falling. It just doesn't seem like Pacomike can defend these bases. Like, he's nowhere near in position. So these two, the Planetary and the CC, are forfeits at the moment, and we'll see what Pacomike decides to do. He's aware of this, and he's going for the counterattack instead. And I like this. Like, there's no way that he can hold on to these bases. Hopefully he can evacuate in time and save some of these SCVs, which is what I'm a little bit concerned about, as a lot of these SCVs are falling. They're actually rotating up to the top left, which is not where they want to be. Meanwhile, all these BCs are counterattacking, which is great, right? There's nothing here to defend. He Yamato's the base. The CC almost goes down immediately. Jesus Christ, there's so much damage with these BCs, and he forces eGGz back home. The problem is that Pacomike is losing these two bases for one at the moment. Like, he needed to deal a little bit more damage with these BCs. To be fair, he's not done. He's taking out more missile turrets. He's slowly taking out more SCVs as well. What's terrifying is that eGGz, like, he's coming back home. These BCs, yeah, okay. Whew, they teleport home. They are safe. They don't die needlessly. And surprisingly, eGGz didn't leave enough across the map where Pacomike can hold on to this base. Like, there's only 2 Marines here. There's not that much damage output being done to the top left. Meanwhile, oh boy, eGGz, he's finally pushing out across the map to the main bases of Pacomike. We've seen him time and time again just crash into the solid wall of Pacomike, and we'll see if that happens again, or if eGGz finally has enough to break the wall that is Pacomike with all these BCs, with all these tanks. It looks like eGGz doesn't want to risk it. He's like, okay, I deny base, I'm gonna back off. Which is a good thing. I feel like eGGz has learned his lesson. Time and time again, we've seen eGGz just crash his face into a wall, and he just can't break it. And it allows Pacomike to get back into this whenever he does that. So I do like that eGGz has decided to back off, and he's not that far off from maxing out. So it does make sense. eGGz, he needs 30 more supply, and then he's 200 out of 200. When he gets to that stage, then he can push out. The problem is that because he's up against BCs, whenever he does push out, Pacomike has the opportunity to teleport across the map. So he could cause eGGz to like falter a little bit and return back home, and it'll buy Pacomike a little bit of time. We'll see. At the moment that he doesn't have the opportunity to do so. eGGz, he's pushing out across the map. He's at 187 supply, almost maxed out. Is he gonna commit? It looks like he will be committing in, but we'll see. We'll see if Pacomike is gonna finally be able to defend. At the same time, there is a drop in the main base. The fusion core, oh god, the fusion core is getting focused down. That means no more BCs, and BCs are the backbone. It's the bread and butter of what Pacomike's going for. Nice Yamatos. Meanwhile, the fusion core does fall. No more BC production for Pacomike. Meanwhile, we have, of course, Thors and Vikings here trying to push away. Pacomike, he can't really push into this army. He needs... Oh my, he doesn't even care. He just goes across the map. He's like, you know what? I'm not even going to try and break this. I'm just going to teleport across the map. And this is a mistake, I feel. eGGz is actually going back home. It's hard to say, actually, whether it's a mistake. So this means that Pacomike has the breathing room to hold on to this base. Honestly, I feel like eGGz could have broken this position without any BCs, but he decides to go back home. Because of that, Pacomike takes out the natural. He's going to go into the main base as well. Of course, this does mean that the BCs are stuck. Their teleports are on cooldown. They have to commit to this engagement. Oh boy, and we do see the Vikings are just chasing every single one of these BCs down. The BCs are slowly falling one by one. GG gets called! Oh my god, eGGz has done it! eGGz is your Rey de las Razas. GG, well played. Huevo, el capullo. El vuelto, he has done it. He is el Rey de las Razas. Pacomike, he was being very cheeky that game, and I commend him. I honestly, that was great. That was a lot of fun. Going mass BC, going for those ninja bases and getting away with them for so long, but it wasn't enough to take down eGGz. Obviously, if Pacomike played Protoss, everyone favors Pacomike, and Pacomike would have been able to take it to the ace match. But at the end of the day, the thing is that he would have had to have played a TVT regardless. And he decided that Pillars of Gold was the map that he was going to play that TVT out on. If Pacomike won this game, then Pacomike is kind of confirmed to win the entire event, because he should have won with Protoss in the ace match. But regardless, like if he played Protoss here, then he would have had to play Terran in the ace match. It would have all come down to a TVT in the end. And eGGz is able to clench it out. He is our champion of the night. And he is going to be able to walk away with that premiership. He is going to be taking the crown, the actual crown here, as he is the king. What a series, what a game, what a last game as well. It's a shame that Yakuzaku wasn't here to join me. I'm sure he would have loved that TVT. It was full-on clown fiesta. You never get to see a Terran player at this level of play just mass BC so blatantly in that way. Fun fact, if you recall, if you were here earlier in the broadcast, I was discussing this with Yaku. We were talking about how Pacomike loves his Sky Toss when he plays Protoss. What's the equivalent when he plays Terran? And I said, double Starport Tech Lab BC production, you know, as a meme, as a joke, but that's actually what Pacomike went for. So yeah, that was unexpected. It was a lot of fun. My condolences to Pacomike, but he does take that second place trophy. He did fight incredibly well today, and again, like, it did come down to your off races and how well you were able to prepare. GG. Lo estaba haciendo swap en canal de YouTube. Sí, disculpes. I'm sorry, pero aquí estamos casteando en inglés. En español está swap, Demon Swap, en YouTube, en su canal. Swap creo que estaba casteando solo, no con Jimena, Jim Rising, o Romsley, or Enki, or los demás. But yes, Demon Swap was casting in Spanish. And what a day of StarCraft. Again, give us some feedback. Like, if you enjoyed this format, La Espira are willing to do this again with different players. If you're familiar with La Espira, they are like the Team Liquid of the Latin American scene, and they run a lot of events. They run free-for-all events, 2v2s, Desafiantes, which is like Code A or Challenger for DreamHack. They do a lot of events for Latin America, but they also want to spice things up and make things like entertaining and fun and bring something new to the table for the community. Something not as serious, and this is an example of that. We were a little bit unsure as to how it would turn out, but honestly it was a lot of fun. The formats was very interesting, and it led to things like Pacomike saving his Protoss to the end, and unfortunately we didn't get to see it against eGGz. It would have been amazing. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, then I'm sure La Espira would be more than willing to make another edition of this, Rey de las Razas #2, or any other format. I've had a lot of discussions with Darking over with La Espira, and yeah, like they're open to any suggestions. Like, I've been asking them about Archon mode. They're tentative about Archon mode. They don't know how well that's going to turn out. But if there are other formats that you want to see played out, then suggest them. Like, we are more than willing to try them out, and see how they do. And yeah. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I really appreciate it. My voice is almost out after casting a single game solo. I'm glad I don't do this too often. Thank you so much, Yakuzaku. He joined me for the majority of this broadcast. Unfortunately, he has his class on at the moment, so he was not able to join me for the final game, but I really appreciate it. It was great to cast with him once again here in 2021, as this does mark the beginning of our Latin American coverage this year. This was our first Latin American event, and we have plenty more lined up. I'm okay with spoilering this now, but Rebirth, if you're a fan of the Rebirth events that we had in the past, a Chilean only event that is scheduled to for the next month or so. So we have another Rebirth events coming up. We have a Peruvian only events coming up as well, for all the Peruvian Latin American players, Peruvian StarCraft players. And we have another FFA, I believe, in the works as well. So again, a lot of these events have been waiting to come out, and they were stopped because of all the lobby issues. But now that they've cleared up, now that we're back into the swing of things, we've got plenty of StarCraft on the way. Speaking of, here is our weekly schedule. So if you are a fan or if you enjoyed the broadcast today, hit that follow button, and we will be back on Saturday with Copa Hyperion number 11. That is another Latin American weekly at 9 AM KST, and that will be followed by Ducklings Showdown 2020. So Ducklings Showdown is our end of year event. It was meant to be last year in December, but it has been postponed and pushed back. If you're a fan of Southeast Asian, Oceanic, and Latin American players, we are going to be hosting a show match between Ender, the best player in all of Oceania, against Jim Rising, and Mika, the best Vietnamese player, against Cham, the best Zerg player in Mexico. So we have some beautiful ZVZs lined up for that Duckling Showdown. I can't wait to get into it. Not just those, but we also have a couple of amateur events lined up for that day as well. All the Ducklings are going to come together. We're going to have Steel Mold, Yaku, Yoda Slim, as well as myself and Ares, and Kuro. All 6 of us are going to be casting that event. We're going to be rotating casters throughout the entirety of it, and we're gonna do the best we can to really showcase every single aspect of the Ducklings. You know, our amateur stuff, our Oceanic stuff, our Latin American stuff, all of it will be there on display for Duckling Showdown, with some special maps as well. We commissioned some maps, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Gracias todos. I'm gonna go rest my voice and pass out. And we will see you on Saturday for Copa Hyperion. Gracias todos. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, stay tuned because we're going to raid someone else. Ciao.